Good evening everybody. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far, and your launch week of 8.3 has been, let me say, interesting. I hope it's worked well. Let me switch on over to the regular scene and then turn on the audio there. Good evening one and all. I hope you've had a lovely week. I hope 8.3 launch has treated you well and you've been able to make some gold, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Who have we got in? We've got Belligerent Potato, Maslui and Rasheen coming straight in there with 14 months. Good evening to you as well. Thank you very much. Adrios, good evening to you. And no idea if you made gold, Mashi, indeed. It's been a bit tricky with the mail at the moment. We'll have to have a look and see how everything goes. But let's have a load of emotes for Rasheen. Thank you very much for your continued support. It really is appreciated. I missed a few there from the beginning. We had Snake in, Nuovin, Lizelle, Majestic Pillow. Good evening all. I hope you're doing very well. Oh, and Annette's in there as well. Just make sure I can get everyone. Adria and Svorkas, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. And John Levy as well. Good evening to you. I hope you're all well. I'm not sure what it's going to be like. What did I do on the auction house? I went on, I think first thing on Friday morning was the first time I actually posted anything. I put all my regular auctions, I just threw them all on and hope for the best. I made a whole load of uncanny gear, which is why we're sat here in the PvP area for uncanny gear. So I managed to get a few of those on. I have no idea if there's been any sales or whether I've received the money from those at all. It's been, as we said, very tumultuous the time on the auction house at the moment. Stuff is selling, but no idea where the gold is. Just waiting for it to arrive one day. Overall, fun patch so far. Excellent. Solari, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And Will Webster. Uncanny gear you can see if you sold. Yes, I do seem to recall it seems to be stackable items that have the most trouble. Single items seem to be okay at the moment. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. We'll go through the Wowhead blog. Go through all the various things that have been going on this past week. Stevie B, good evening to you. Let's have a look, see if it's gone live yet. We'll have a quick look. And if it has, yes, it literally has just gone live. So then I can go and link that in chat. One moment, I'll set up the command. And then we'll go through and we'll discuss all the goings on of this week of the 8.3 launch and the poor auction house, how it's been completely overwhelmed by all the player base putting their auctions on. Let me just edit this. Let's have a look over here. Paste that in. And then I'll submit that. Then hopefully we'll have a look on Wowhead. There we go. That should be a link to the latest economy wrap-up. Yep, there we go. We'll bring this on over. We'll have a look. There we are. I changed the starting screen to represent the chaos that's gone on with Nyalotha and Nazoth doing all the bad influences on the auction house. Gindi, good evening to you as well. You think you lost about 20 stacks of tie spray linen and some random stuff. You don't have them in any list in the mail. So no idea if they sold or just vanished. Oh, okay, and that's, well, you could always put a ticket in, I guess, for that. I'll have a look. Your items mostly couldn't even be found on the auction house by people using the German client, like most people do on a German realm. Exactly, Rasheen. That would be the kind of main way you'd want people to see it, certainly. Very nice, all those tentacles. Yeah, I thought it would be appropriate for what's been going on. Playbender, good evening to you, and Medkit. See how excited about toying with the art. Oh, it's great fun. There's always something to think about when something new is going on, and being able to have access to all sort of the models and all the wonderful art that Blizzard do is just an honour to be able to at least touch it and do something fun with it. Funny letters weren't supported when the new auction house went like everything with umlauts. Oh, wow, okay. That's going to be interesting. Lizard, how are you? And Persephone. And Frosper, good evening, one and all. Hope you're doing well. So our discussion this week is going to be obviously over the 8.3 launch and the poor auction house that has completely sort of like buckled under the strain of all the auctions we've been putting on. So if we scroll down, okay, so we're going to talk about all of the various blue posts and things like that have been going on. There's quite a good post about the sort of mental reasons why you might want to still undercut, and then we'll go through a few sort of a few positive points, and there's been some really nice success stories coming out of 8.3 so far, so we're going to share a few of those as well. Hopefully we can do a little bit more then. Doing good. Auction house the same during Pandaland. It's mayhem. I don't remember it during Pandaria, but I would be very interested to see how it compares, certainly. Adriana, good evening to you, and Darkwing. Hope you're doing both well. Welcome. So, what did we have? Well, basically, it all kicked off with various issues and various things not listing, like Rasheen was saying about the German client not recognizing letters, certain mails not being able to be searched for. The main thing it seems to be around, once we get through all the blue posts and things, is they seem to be, I'll scroll back down to here because this is the main bit really, is the main thing was about gold being missing. And it seems mainly from stackable items rather than single items like the uncanny gear. And they want to assure us, obviously, that nothing has been lost, and it's a result of the mail just getting stuck somewhere. Now, I believe Blizzard when they say that they do track everything. So I think they've got a good handle on, they should be able to trace where everything has gone, because that's kind of like part of their architecture. So I think it's just a question. I mean, they did say here, during that time, the mail you can't see is not subject to the 30-day expiry, obviously, because they're trying to iron out all the details. And they expect that the fix is going to take a few days. I mean, there has been various hot fixes coming out. They did do a hot fix here where certain things were fixed. The uncollected filter now does the battle pets correctly. The upgrades only filter now applies to the wands and the shields. I don't see anything about favourites being remembered yet. I'll have to test that when we go in, because that was one of the bugs up here, that favourites were getting forgotten. Safiosa, good evening to you. There is no way everything isn't being tracked 3 times over to verify it against duping, etc. That's my feeling as well, Sportcast. I think Blizzard have some very, very strong tracking tools in place, because it's their servers. They want to make sure that they can trace everything that goes on, from every message to every coin to every item to what everyone's doing. The original auction house is what you fell in love with and hooked you into vanilla. All right, CVB. It hasn't changed at all, and this is the first time in 15 years that it has changed. I can see why they've done it now, and some of the things just wouldn't work in a modern game now. So I think it's about time they did it. Certainly. You want the old one, do you, Agron? I think it's nice. I think it just needs to chicken soup coming right up. Can you make me some soup? Your eyeballs hurt. Oh, very nice. I hope your eyes are okay, Persephone. And did you find yourself a new headset and microphone? I know you were looking for that earlier. Just call me Tessa. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Sunshine? Good evening to you as well. If you had to put an estimate on how long it'll take for them to fix the mail, what would I guess? Well, given the speed that they've done some things already, I would imagine they have an actual fix done within the week, and then I would expect a week or two for all the kinks to get ironed out. Is a complete guess from my part. I have no real experience other than what I would like to happen. We went with the Logitech one. It's going to take till the 27th. All right, okay. Well, glad you managed to find a solution though. Changes are always hard, but they are necessary. I think I agree with you on that one, Kejos. You also really like the new auction house. Love the favourite option. Looking forward to when the not collected option works. Yes, that would be very nice. I think they did say they hotfixed that bit though. The The upgrades only filter should include wands and shields now. I don't know what else isn't working for it at the moment. But on a full realm it isn't much quicker. Yeah, I mean, I have noticed a certain slowdown when I posted everything on, like a general overall slowdown. Senpai Sark, wish they had added a search bar on your posted auctions though. Yes, I saw Rasheen posted that on Twitter as well, and I think Billis and Nixia as well had a similar suggestion. I think that would be really useful, certainly. And Froseworth, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. What's the fastest way to level to 60? Also, how do you avoid tanking markets? Use the enchanting shuffle. Well, the same with avoiding tanking any market. I would suggest basically don't go all in at once with large quantities of items, but just try and gauge the flow of items going in and flow of items going out, and just try and balance that, and then you won't be sort of flooding the market with lots of things. It's kind of almost like a sort of a gut feeling, but you'll get a sense for that as the more and more you do that particular market. As it comes for leveling to 60 plus, I have no idea. It's been a long time since I've leveled that fast. I did use the Zygor guide for a while, but as it's paid for, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because it's quite expensive. I have since cancelled my subscription of that because it was more than the cost of a sub, and as I pay for my sub with gold, it was I didn't feel like I could justify it with the amount of time I used it. Collected pets would show up on the not collected option. Ah, right, yes, I think they did say something about pets. The uncollected filter can show own battle pets. That was apparently hotfixed. You've got one here. The uncollected filter now filters own battle pets as expected. So that's another one, hopefully. Post little frequently. And if you sent mail to alts as well. Is there a problem with that as well? Spartan Gaming, good evening to you. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? And good evening, Midnight Hawk. How's Shadow Song bid for you with your sales? Have you managed to sell much? And Rank Hank, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Any more news about the broken auction house? Well, we're just going through that on the Wowhead blog at the moment. So there's a list here of issues they're aware of. That's as of the 16th. So this is a list of all that. I've edited this post just to show what has been hotfixed on the 17th, which was a day later. So the hotfixes come here. This was all on the 17th. So I imagine there was another update, and I'm sure there'll be some more hotfixes rapidly coming through over the next week. And then there's one blue post here talking about assuring us that everything's... Keep calm, carry on, everything will be fine. And I believe Blizzard on this one. Joel the Elephant, good evening to you, hope you're doing well. Are there any old world farms I'd really recommend? That's not something I generally do myself, but I know a lot of people talk about doing the Pandaria raids and doing the Walls or Draenor raids as well, and dungeons. Those can be quite lucrative in terms of raw gold. I'm planning to change operations for new uncanny gear, or old ones work as well. I did set up some rudimentary ones when I started my uncanny on Friday. Now I changed mine to, I boosted up the min, max and normal prices just to reflect the early stages of the market, and then what I imagine myself doing is just squashing those min, max and normal prices down a little bit as the market settles a little bit more. But I've expanded them. I can go and show those in a moment. Actually, I'll show that now. It'll be easy enough. So my operation I used for the uncanny gear, if I move this on over. So we have my groups here. So I set up a new group just on Friday for the uncanny gear, uncanny selling, and my group operation for this one is this one here. So posting operation here. So for a minimum price, I've gone with the maximum between either 150% crafting, 60% DB market, and 50% DB region market average. Now, because a lot of these are so new, there's not necessarily any data for DB market or DB region market average. So I know that TSM is going to default to crafting for a lot of these, which is why I've set this to 150% rather than 110%, which I normally do. All the WOD mop raids on difficult. All difficulties can raid lots of gold over a week, but can take some time to complete. Yeah, that's the one. Eldrazi, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. It has been a while. Hope you're having a lovely time. Good to see you still going strong. You made your first million last week, thanks to in parts of my awesome content. Hope you've had a good weekend. I have a lovely weekend, thank you very much. And congratulations, Eldrazi, that's fantastic. And Zanzibar, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. It's 227,000 gold for a token on EU. That's not too bad. What's Hall HOA number 270? Wow, that's a lot, mushy. Is this still with all the things you're doing? You might know the answer to this question. What are the odds of getting a work order world quest to rank 3 enchanting recipe in Najtar? They tend to happen quite frequently, as long as you just keep on checking, because obviously they rotate throughout the day. So check every day, certainly, and within a week or two, I'm sure you'll be able to get them. Oh, Heart of Azurite. Oh, okay. Your neck. Oh, right. It's near to 70. Oh, fantastic. Oh, right. Mine is... You're going to love this. What is my Heart of Azeroth? It's actually gone up more than I thought it had. It's gone up to 61. I haven't actually unlocked my powers on it. But that's not too bad. I've just literally started through the opening quests on that. But I'm going all over the place here. Let me just finish off that operation I was looking at. We'll have a look at that, and then we'll go back to the Wowhead blog. So we were looking at tailoring uncanny. So I'm using mainly a operation here of... there we go. Oh, Danny, thank you very much for the cheers. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you very much for your support. Super appreciated. So yeah, I've really pushed up the price of my maximum price to, what's that, 5,000% crafting, and my normal price at 500% crafting. Those are the main figures I'm looking at in terms of my maximum, normal, and minimum price. So I've really pushed them high just for this early stage of 8.3. Whether it's paid through at all, I'm not sure yet. It made it pretty good to catch up for your neck. Yeah, it does seem that it's gone through quite quickly, because I remember I was only on about 50 only the other day, so that's not too bad. Right, let's have a look at the blog and just go through a few more bits and pieces whilst we're here. So all in all, I think, yes, it is in a bit of a bind at the moment, the auction house, but I've got a feeling that Blizzard are going to sort it out as quickly as they possibly can. I've already got enough confidence to be able to post my auctions as they are at the moment. Whether I lose gold or not, I'm not sure whether that's going to be actually the case, so I'm happy to give that a risk. But then my position is different to others. I'm already in a comfortable position with my gold. I don't really need a lot, or the amount of gold that I do have in actual cash reserves is fine, and my stock quantities are fine. So other people's positions may be different, and they may have invested more into the auction house. So I would understand if someone in that position would want to be a bit more cautious about what they post on. Only one uncanny sale this week, 15k silk belt. Oh, okay. Even more people playing when raid comes out. It may be that. It may be that a lot of people were just going through the main storyline, working out how all the visions work and all that kind of thing, and people might not have necessarily, unless they were really going for their like Vulpera or Mechanome and wanting to level them up and get some ults going. So I got a feeling uncanny is going to be a sort of steady seller overall. No one's actually lost gold, it's just the mail not being delivered. Exactly, Spartan. It's just, and it's what they say in this post here, is that they track everything, everything's going to be okay. So nothing has been lost as a result of this issue. So there isn't going to be a case of losing gold, certainly. Doing well, football season is about over, so now it's time for Samadan season. Oh, right, fantastic. I didn't realise there were 2 seasons, but good to have you here. Nevertheless, your realm was totally out of whack. All the prices dropped like 30%. Doesn't make any sense. It could be that a lot of people were stockpiling in anticipation and have dumped all the stuff on the market, and as a result have crashed the prices if they're not looking at the prices themselves. Oh, since I changed my time, you had to make seasons. Okay, that's fair enough, Danny. Well, it's good to have you here. Except for the bugs, is that posting costs are higher with the new patch. Is that right? Is that down? What specifically is higher? Is it the new stuff, or is it some of the old stuff? The middleman on Twitch, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Definite stockpiling. We had 2 to 3 times more linen on your auction house than your peak ever had been. Right, that makes sense then, certainly. It's the only thing that made us cautious about the price crash. Yes, definitely. You did Blizzard deleting gold in your stream title, and one of your viewers got so triggered. Oh, right, okay. Oh, Danny, thank you. 16 months, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for your continued support. Really is appreciated. I see lots of emotes for Danny. You're loving not worrying about sack sizes anymore, to be honest. Yes, that is true, Eldrazi. It's nice just to put it all on, and just, especially from a buyer's perspective as well. Your posting price has gone way down. You posted tons of mats, and your posting cost was only 11 silver. Okay, so that's good then, definitely. You're 100 times the normal amount. In terms of what all auctions which are posted for 48 hours are higher than before. Oh, right, okay. I'm not been, to be honest, I haven't paid much attention to the auction house posting fees. I tend to just throw everything on, which is probably not a good way of doing it. So I'll have to maybe have a look at it in a bit more detail. So it can be ignored, okay. Communicated a very high possibility of price crashes due to several reasons. People stockpiling way too much being one of them. Exactly, Rasheen. It is a definite risk, isn't it? Old stuff is high in posting fee. Weapons and cloths are still high. Oh, okay, Annette. I was thinking, or at least hoping, that they would be a little bit cheaper, but that's a shame, certainly. Have the same value at auction house, but your posting costs have dropped to 800 to 900 gold. Okay, Goalkeeper. So it could be just a question of what people are posting, and if you are posting things that are particularly expensive, then that's going to be a difficult one. And we'll have a look at my own auctions in a moment. I'll just finish off the blog with everything else, and we'll go through and talk about a few different things. So we did talk about undercutting briefly, but there was a good post on Reddit about why people might undercut and why they'd undercut by a large amount, and Procedural Dad made a very good point about basically, you know, someone who doesn't use the auction house may just want a quick sale, and so long as it's more than, say, the vendor price and it's for an amount that sells quickly, then that kind of person will certainly just want to put it on, and they don't care whether it's market value, they don't care. All they want is basically a quick sale, and the amount that they get they're happy with, which is why they put it on for that. And if someone wants to snap it up at that price and then put things on at a higher price, then all the more sort of kudos to them, but they play the game differently. And I thought it was quite a good discussion point on this one, and there was a few replies saying how they they do the auction house in a similar way, and it's also discussing about the amounts can be important between sold and not sold, which is why not everyone will just undercut by a small amount, but maybe they'll just drop it by half price or something like that, just to try and put it up for a bargain so that hopefully it'll get snapped up within sort of 5 minutes. Old stuff is high, posting for your weapons and cloths still high. Oh, we did that one. Your mats person is not running dry whilst he does not earn a thing, so posting is a lot less. Oh, okay, it is for you, Mushy, that's good. But best reason for undercut is the last in, first out, not working as expected. Yeah, I did see that post you put on, Rasheen, with sensors, and she was going through. I did watch all 3 of the clips that you put on. I couldn't quite follow exactly what was going on. It did seem a little bizarre. I don't have 2 accounts to test it thoroughly myself, because that would be quite nice to just actually see whether this LIFO system is actually working as expected. Is it something on TSM side? Is it something on the standard auction house side? because they tank retail market just to pay for tokens, just to pay for classic. Exactly, Spartan. Everyone will have their own reasons, and it's important, I think, to remember that just because someone doesn't have the same reason as you doesn't make them automatically wrong. They're just playing it a different way and doing it something different. It's the standard auction house search. Tested it on NA and tested it on EU. Oh, okay, so it's not even with TSM. That's very interesting. So maybe that's going to be something they're going to have to look into in a bit more detail. It does seem that the whole stack size thing does seem to be having a few problems at the moment. You actually think people and then are panicking, massively undercutting because they think they will sell faster, which isn't wrong. Also, goblins which depend on daily sales instead of people with more liquid assets will be more likely to dump their stuff for free. You think, yeah, there's basically a lot of different reasons there, isn't there, Eldrazi? And we never know exactly which reason someone might be using. It could be a mistake, it could be that they just want to feel like they're getting it, they want to sell as quickly as possible. Skylex, good evening to you, hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome on board. We are just going through the Wowhead blog. If you want to follow on everything from Wowhead, we have the link to the article which we're discussing right now is in there. It looked like it was a TSM fault at first because your first test was the default auction house worked fine, but further testing however showed that also the default auction house isn't always buying the last posted item. Okay, Rasheen, that's really good testing. One definitely to keep an eye on, certainly, because that was the whole reasoning, the whole mechanic, this LIFO system. If that can't be relied on, then I think it will be, well, random certainly isn't right. It should be one or the other. So I imagine it's probably some issue that they need to still iron out, and it doesn't sound like it's working as intended, certainly. So, moving on to success stories, there's been a couple of really nice things I've been following on Twitter where people have made some really good successes with their sales. Milio and Lunaray, Marshmilo on Twitter, has had some fantastic results in Goldmaking selling uncanny gear. Now the good thing he did here was actually a lot of preparation beforehand. So this is knowing your market, understanding. This worked with them before in previous patches like 8.1 and 8.2. So they did it again here, and it was focusing on getting as many pieces of uncanny gear out there as possible. And this was quite the difference here, is making sure that they have at least 10 of every one on, so that they're spread across all the different variations, so that when someone's coming along and looking to buy something, most of those auctions are going to be theirs and they're likely to get sold. So it did involve a lot of preparation beforehand, getting lots of Expulsion, lots of marks of honour, getting all the materials before the patch released, rather than being reactive to it, and then obviously using a very nice spreadsheet to sort that out. And then following that, on launch day, has been actually making absolutely loads of gold, selling uncanny gear on 3 characters on 2 realms, was up to 1.9 million after 36 hours, and I think at last count was over 2.5 million after 48 hours. So it's absolutely brilliant, and it's a good testament to sort of proper planning, knowing your market, understanding it, and having some great success as a result. I had everything set to go, forgot about the marks of honour. I think, given the prices, Eldrazi, though, I know it would cost more to make them, but I think the profit margins at this early stage allow some rank sort of 2s or 1s even to be still profitable, certainly. That's how you would have done it if you were playing with you, Will. Yeah, definitely. I think it was a very good way, and to be ready on day one to get everything set up and posted. I didn't do this. I was a little bit prepared, but I didn't bother going straight away. I wanted to play the storyline a little bit first, so I kind of I missed this boat. But we'll have a look at my potential sales in a moment. The one of everything is the key. Absolutely will. That is the thing that they said was basically, if you've only got one or two uncanny gear on at any one time, you're competing with other people who have got not only those but all the other variations on. Whereas if you've got one of every single type on, then you've got a good spread over that market, and you're guaranteed to get at least some sales that way, I think. You're going to head off to work. You have a lovely time at work, Spartan. Good to have you here. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. And then another example was Drizzling Rose, who comes into the stream quite often, and she was doing Hexweave bags as before with her army of alts, and then focused really heavily on Warfront turn-ins. And this isn't using TSM, this is just using the standard auction house, the new one. The amount of Expulsion to do this year, I know, that is the thing, it takes a lot of preparation, certainly. You saw that tweet and went, huh, who makes that? And had to Google it. There you go, Annette. One of everything, that might be your problem. I think so. I think that is the key, is to have a good quantity on the market, certainly. And you can see here, Drizzling Rose really focused on the Warfront turn-ins. You know, when it's in this case Shimmer Scale diving suits, and just focused on listing, relisting, and really sort of almost like dominating the market. And this is something we've done before, but doing it this time when lots of people are coming back, they're looking to upgrade their Hearts of Azeroth, they're going through all the storyline, especially if you're on sort of like a big sort of raiding server. So this was a great example, and I think she made in the end, yeah, you can see the graph here, made enough of gold for 3 tokens in one night, which is absolutely amazing. Best numbers you ever had in a day, which I think is a fantastic spike in TSM, and obviously to buy the tokens as well. I think that's actually fantastic. They're really good examples of showing how once you find something that works, doubling down on it and making sure that you can maximize that potential. And so it can still happen even at any time, whether it's at the start of a new expansion, whether it's halfway through an expansion, or when a new patch like this gets released. Agent Rusky, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. The auction house and mailbox bug stole your will to play. Oh, sorry to hear about that, Vico. It has been unfortunate, certainly, that I was so excited for the new auction house coming out that it would have been nice if it happened smoothly. But obviously, with it being such a massive change, I think it was optimistic to think that it would go through without a hitch. Agent Rusky, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. You haven't got any gold in 3 days, Eldrazi. Oh, interesting. Well, I'll have a look. I've got no idea whether anything of mine has sold, so we can go and have a look at that, actually. That's pretty much me done with the Wowhead blog as it stands anyway. So if you do have any questions or comments, pop them in the comments below on the Wowhead blog, or come on in here and we can chat them through. But we'll go through and have a look at my actual sales and things on Samadan and my other characters. I did manage to put some uncanny gear on as well as everything else, so we can go and have a look at that. The auction has been colossally disappointing. Your best day was 1,000. Right, okay. What was your normal gold amounts? I'm missing quite a bit of gold, so not posted any auctions since Friday and took the remaining off. That's fair enough, Adriana. Gives you a bit of breathing room to get it sorted out, certainly. Do we now get a mailbox opening? We do indeed. We'll have, I imagine, a lot of expires. I haven't seen anything in a while yet. We've got a load of expires here. Let's have a look. So this is all uncanny gear at the moment. How much space have I got in my bags? 90 space this should be at the moment. So I did put a load of uncanny gear on. I made, on cloth, I made 5 of each, which probably wasn't quite enough. And I didn't do any reposting, so they literally just had 48 hours, and that was it. Also, don't forget the auction house gold issue also made millions and millions of times per linen disappear. As under these circumstances, multi-box would rather shuffle and put linen in the auction house. Yeah, that's a good point, Rasheen, actually. Daryl, how are you? Good evening to you. 75 to 100k normally. Okay, that is quite a big difference then. For everybody that's not doing everything on the auction house at the moment because of the bug, they clearly stated that everything is being logged and there is little to no chance that any gold will be lost. Exactly, the middleman. Pretend that nothing is happening and keep posting as normal. Yeah, that's kind of what I've done here. I literally put everything on regardless, and I'm going to see what happens, certainly. Oops, let me just scroll in then. Finally caught my stream. I have a question. When they fix the bugs, do you get all your mailbox? That is the plan, Scarlex. That's what Blizzard have said. It'll take a few days for it to come through, and the expiry limit hasn't kicked in yet until that mail actually arrives. After I took up Wowhead, my view count just grew. Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, I know they are embedded views, so they're not sort of like real views, but it's very nice to have lots of new people coming in, so welcome one and all, those who have come from Wowhead. Good evening, right one too. How are you? Thanks for stopping. Keep calm and carry on. Exactly. Well, very British. Let's keep it real. Your competition is out of funds, and you went from your mats, went to farm mats, and cleared out the auction house of one mat. So you have to have many sales. So far, about 100 enchants missing. Oh, right, okay, well, hopefully they'll come through eventually. I haven't tried my enchants yet. Well, these are all expires here, so let's have a look. Let's open up some of these. We'll get these posted back on. This is a good test of how fast or slow the auction house is. Seems okay here at the moment. Missing means sold, I assume. I would hope so, certainly. Wave, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Actually quite happy. You was thinking you hadn't sold anything and had lost your auction house savvy you got from Sam. Well, hopefully everything's still intact. I mean, the great thing is, regardless of the bugs, having this 15-second refresh is absolutely amazing. I love this. Now, let's post all this lot on whilst we're here. Let's go find ourselves a nice open space to stand. Let's clear this down a little bit. And then we'll use... I haven't adjusted any of my posting operations much at all, other than the new uncanny ones. So we'll go through, we'll select all, and I'll just literally run a post scan as they are, keeping a little eye on the prices. We've got a few different prices here of uncanny, 2,000 and 6,000. Crafting cost is here at 700, so that's still alright at the moment. 3,200, 8,000 there. Too long didn't read, still bugged, nothing is lost, gold will come to you eventually. Exactly, basically. As Eldrazi said, right one too, it's all in Blizzard's hands at the moment. They are working diligently to restore everything. Everything's tracked, they say, so nothing is lost. JKSU TV, mounts have been selling like hot butter pancakes this week. Bought them last week and did 3 times your investment already. Oh, fantastic. Good to hear a success story like that. Now without stack sizes, operates last in first out, and you cannot choose what to buy anymore. It'll auto select the cheapest for you. Yes, that's kind of like a blessing and a curse, isn't it? Now let's just, in the absence of any future knowledge, let's just post all of these on as I would normally. Varying prices here of the uncanny gear. We'll see how that goes. All my other usual stuff is coming on for bits and pieces. So this is... I've got some still notorious gear. I'm not expecting that to sell, but I'm going to throw it on for a little bit longer because you never know. There still might be the odd notorious sale. You did a full post last night and seem to have received all your sales and such. Excellent. You're good. Just woke up. Got about scuff sleep schedule. That's a tough one to say. But glad you're here, Wave. Good to have you here. And TSM isn't tracking purchases at the moment unless it's singles, so careful with your average buy operations. That's a good point, actually, Rasheen. I should be okay with most of mine, I think, at this stage. I don't think they're going to be too different. You just sold a Notorious cloak for 5k. Oh, fantastic. So they are still selling. I'm not surprised at that. Sometimes these things do come through. And does Sniper work for anyone? Your one just sits on scan forever. Apparently it's broken at the moment. Okay, thank you, Darkwing. You was posting yesterday and found that your crafting operation that would not post anything for a loss. Now it's posting everything. Was a setting change that I know of? I would have a look at your operation in detail and see if you can trace through where the prices are coming from. As Rasheen said, it could be if your average buy prices have changed or something like that. Just check your material prices as TSM thinks of them. Your snipe worked last night, didn't it? Okay, fantastic. That's alright. Thank you very much for the follow as well. And K-Hole, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Crazy days indeed. We're literally just posting everything on at the moment. So I'm going to go through and just go through all my expires at the moment. This was basically me posting on Friday morning and leaving it for 48 hours. So it's not a full week's mailbox by any stretch of the matter. It's literally me just testing the market. Whether we have any sales at the end of this, I have absolutely zero idea. But I'm loving the mailbox opening at the moment. It's so fast and so nice that it's refreshing. Oh, we do have some gold at the start here, so that is coming through. Let's have a quick peek at what that is. We have some enchants, quick navigation, silkweave satchels, flying carpet, tome of illusions. Okay, although those, looking at those, the day on those, they might have been old sales coming through. I'm not sure exactly because they've got 24 days on them. It could be that I've only sold a flying carpet in that time. I'll just have to check them. We'll just post the rest of this lot on. Vendor items have forgotten my TSM after patches often and may result in the wrong crafting prices. That is true until you visit a vendor and then they can come through. Without vendor buy, crafting costs would be showing as too high. Doesn't it just come out as invalid with TSM if it hasn't got a price at all? It depends on how you have it set up, I guess. Oh right, has it just updated? We'll have a look. And what version are we on at the moment? 4.9.16. So maybe it will need an update. I've only had it live for the last sort of 45 minutes or so. Andy Maggia, how are you? Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. But it isn't supposed to post things that are considered a loss. So it all depends on, say, I guess your crafting operation and what it considers the base price as. Oh, it's 4.917 now. Okay, I might have to give that a little update. I'll do a reload after I've done all these posts, just in case there's been a specific fix that I'm going to need. I'll post all of this lot on. I have noticed that I'm having to scroll the wheel more than normal to get everything on. It does seem slightly slower posting. So let's go through the rest of these expires and we'll post everything on. So I think some of this gold might have been left over from before the patch, because all of these are coming in at 29 days. And then the only sale I have here that's also at 29 days is this one. So within 24 hours it could possibly have been, not 24 hours, but within 48 hours that might have been these up to the silkweave satchel. Then I think all of these sales are actually from before 8.3 got released. So in terms of sales for Samadan, there's very little at the moment, but that's not surprising really, considering I've only literally posted once, and that was on a Friday morning. Oh, gumdrops. 8 months. Thank you very much using your Prime. How are you? How have you been? I saw you streamed yesterday. I just missed it because I got on to the last half hour after you finished. So I managed to catch up a little bit on the VOD. But it's good to see you streaming again. I hope it becomes a more regular thing, certainly. But good to have you here. And Sephorium, hope you're doing well as well. And Gorgor. The auction house lost all your set favourites. Yes, I don't think they've fixed that bug yet. Let's just open up all of this at the moment. So we'll have a nice clear slate if anything new does come in. And then we'll post this lot back on and we'll get everything sorted. And then I'll probably do a reload so we can get TSM updated as well. And pots, enchants, mats are all stackable, so gold will not show. Oh, that's a good point actually, Mushy. So maybe we have had some other sales, they just haven't come through yet. Could be a good point. Might be a max speed to posting now. Oh, right, Joel, that could be it then, definitely. Post confirm. That times 800. Yeah, it does seem a little bit slower. Yeah, it's updated. Exit game and reload is not useful. Okay. Oh yes, I see what you mean. You have to exit the game and do that. Yeah, we'll do that in a moment. Actually, Marcus, thank you very much for using your Prime. Very much appreciated. So and for Gumdrops as well from coming in earlier. Let's see lots of emotes for them. Thank you very much, both of you, for your support. Super appreciated. Right, let's post on this last lot. Oh, look at that, a red linen vest for 21,000 gold. Yet I've got a purple silk shirt going on for 449 gold. Something's wrong there. I'm not going to change them at this stage. I'm just going to throw them on and see what happens. Taka, thank you very much for using your Prime. Straight in there, thank you very much. Commodities only with the new style. You can right click on the item and it will go into the auction house. Then you can make this a macro and hit it to post the auction and run. Auction effect, commodity sell frame. So no need to drag and drop and click, it saves time. Oh right, okay. Thank you, Right One Two. That's very kind of you. And X-Ray Tango, thank you also for the follow. And Taka also, thank you for the follow as well as using your Prime. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much. And we've got a level 1 hype train going on at the moment, so thank you all for that. That's absolutely amazing. That's the second time that's happened now. And Jake, thank you also for the follow. Lots of follows coming in there. Everything's posted on, so what I'm going to do is just a quick exit the game and reload, just so I can get the TSM update. So one moment, I'll be right back. Let me just switch to my BRB screen. And then we'll come through and I'll exit everything out. And then we'll do a quick reload to make sure that TSM has updated. And then we can get back into opening the mail on my other characters. I don't think I posted on for everyone. We'll have a look. Let's have a look. Add-on versions. Okay, that looks like that has updated. So I can go back into the game. And then we'll come back. One moment. There we go. Coming back in. Okay, let's get the sound back on. Do you think the posted auction bug is affecting the gold you make? Only that you may not see the gold at this point. It seems like the honor vendor does not sell all the rank 2 and 3 recipes for the uncanny gear. Really, Playbender? He should do. He's basically, if you go in here, it's quite funny because you go in and you speak to this guy over here, Leiden, and he says, the dwarf who took my spot also seems to know a thing or two, which is brilliant because he used to be over here, and this dwarf has taken his spot, and now Bragny sells you the uncanny gear. Now I think I've got all my rank 3s. So it's got the rank 3 satin braces here. So that should be everything that you need there, unless there's something specific you don't have. Pulsating set, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Set the run script for other items like armor and such would be helpful too. Well, I'll have to have a look at that one in a bit more detail, right on to, but thanks for sharing it. Yeah, head to the dwarf, definitely. So is anyone actually keep selling? I am at the moment. I've literally just posted everything on as Samadan. It'll be nice to see if we get some sales, but we'll have a look at our other characters and we'll repost all of their stuff on as well. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at alchemy. Now, I'm not essentially expecting a lot of sales with alchemy at this stage because the raid's not out till next week. Doublick, thank you very much for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. We're just going to go through all our characters here. Let's have a look. So, okay, let's just drop down to regular view here. We haven't done any of the starting quests on this character at all. Going to be a nice mailbox when it all catches up. Yes, it will indeed. I can imagine that. Right, so we have... Now, this is interesting. Now, I know I probably posted more than this on, because my posting operation... Now, what was it? My posting operation is 50 of everything. So these are all 50. So that seems like those are all... They've all come back without any sales. But some of these, like the stamina, I would guess from this that I've sold 9 of them. Because if I have a look at my operation here, let's go through and look at... So this is mainly Silas rank 3. I think they're all the same posting operation. 10's partial Silas proc. Yeah, it's the same operation for all of them. And my posting cap on these is 50. So from that guess, that I would say that some of these have sold. Like none of those have sold. None of those have sold. 9 of those are probably sold. Greater Flask of the Currents, I'd expect there's been some sales there. Unbridled Fury potentially. I don't see any Abyssal Healing Potions here, so it could be that all 50 of those have sold. So from looking at this, we should get some mail, hopefully, later. What about Classic still playing? I wish I could play Classic more, but I haven't. I just haven't been able to give it the time with all that's been going on in retail at the moment, and with having a full-time job and a family as well. Is literally there's very little time to be able to do both two very time-intensive games. So I have focused on retail again for the moment, simply because 8.3 is out and there's so much to do at the moment. Maybe before Shadowlands comes out, I may have a chance to have another look at Classic, because I love the pace of it. I love the leveling pace of it. So it is a shame that I can't do both. First time catching my stream. Oh, welcome. Is that Lightian? Welcome aboard. Hope you're doing well. Should you stock ring and weapon enchants for raid release date? I wouldn't necessarily stock them up. I'd start trying to sell them now. You never know. So let's pick up these expires, and we'll at least get a fresh stock on for our enchanting. We might as well check, see if we've got a Silas proc as well whilst we're here. Everything else, let's just do the daily cooldown first. So transmute herbs to anchors. We'll do that. Then we'll have a look, see if we can get ourselves a proc. And we have continuous curing, so no proc here. So I'll just post on what stock we do have. We do have a reasonable stock, so we should be alright to post a whole load on at the moment. So empowered proximity, we've only got 31 of those. We'll post those on. And 50 of strength, 50 endless fathoms, 10 unbridled furies, 50 undertows, 23 lightfoot. Let's just get everything on. We'll post them on at that price and see what happens with those. You wouldn't know if you were missing stuff. You post so much on so many characters. Exactly. It's very difficult to keep track of it when you post so much. So my option here is literally, okay, that's fine. I'll just post everything on, and I'm sure the gold will come eventually. Good evening, Rose. How are you? I hope you're doing well. We did talk about you in the Wowhead blog earlier. As mentioned, live on the Wowhead blog, right at the bottom, Drizzling Rose's success story with Hextree bags and Warfront turn-ins is in there at the bottom. So go check that out if you haven't already. You would sell the ring enchants the day of raid, because that's when most people will get new gear needing enchants. Yeah, I mean, I would just keep them selling. I would try and sell them at all times, basically, rather than save for any specific time. But as Joel says, maybe focus on that time when people are looking to buy the upgrades and make sure you're there and online at the time. So we can assume your lack of sales is auction house shenanigans and go accordingly. I think so, Andalith, because I think I just had some sales of some potions here, but I haven't had anything come through in the mail on my alchemist, so I'm pretty sure that they are in transit somewhere at this stage. I'm slightly reluctant to have a look at shopping anything at the moment, given my reserves are here at 116,000 gold. I think I'll keep hold of that for the moment, rather than go off buying anything. I'll go through and check my other characters. I'm interested to see how Urfan's gotten on with his leatherworking and mail gear, so I'll have a look at that next. Fewer experience that only lost successful sales from potions. I assume it's stackables. You've sold all kinds of transmog and uncanny since the patch and gotten the gold. Yes, I think that matches what a lot of other people have said. Senpai Sark, definitely. It's just with the snail mail. Yeah, exactly. It's coming by carrier pigeon. So they'll find it. It's just taking its long way to get here. I don't think I have anything in these chests, do I? I think Samadan might have had one. I forgot to open it. Let's go have a look at Urfan. So Urfan's in a similar position. He had 5 of everything uncanny made, both leather and mail. And we managed to get most of that on. Obviously we have quite a few expires here. In the first lot, no sales. So we'll just go through and open up all of this. Now the great thing here, we got 107 in the mail, 108 storage space. Oh, hold on, let's just cancel that. I saw some gold at the bottom there. Let's just take the expires first. I want to actually see what gold we sold here. 50,000 gold, so that's something promising. Coming at the bottom. Pigeon with 1 wing, exactly. Okay, there was an item not found there. Okay, we do have some uncanny sales for Urfan, which is fantastic. Right, so looking at this, we have some uncanny sales at 28 days. So everything from here, this 25 days and 24 days will have been before the patch, I imagine. And then everything here at 27 days, so 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, 5,000, and an uncombatant's bow of the harmonious for 14,000. That's really good. So we have had some sales, 50,000 for Urfan. That's a good start. Let's just deal with that last expire, and then let's post all of that on first, and then we'll come back to that. Okay, so that's good. And we're going to have to obviously restock on those, so we'll give that a go. Let's have a look at the prices of these. Did anyone have luck selling the new PvP crafting gear? Not a single one here. Well, we've actually had some sales here, so that is good. Did I make that with rank 3? I made most of them with rank 2. I didn't have quite enough marks of honour to do everything, so I bought all the ranks 2s. I do have a few rank 3s though. We'll have a look at the leatherworking in a moment once I've done the scan. I need 2 tokens for the last batch of gems before we have everything. And then the gold, and you know the gold is in the lost mail. And Rasheen also makes a good point here that some other languages have particular problems with the auction house bug. Haven't spent any money in Heroes of the Storm forever. Started releasing things faster than your pockets could keep up. When you fell behind on the 100% collection, you gave up. And that's fair enough. I mean, I think they have to balance it right, really, to get the incentives right. Right, let's post on some of these. I'm still going to post these Notorious gear on. Some of this Uncanny going for various different prices. It's all a profit at the moment. So it's got a similar posting operation to the other ones on the Samadan side. So we'll go through all of this. I will keep the Notorious on. We won't obviously be restocking any of these. If it sells, then great. If it doesn't, Then we'll do something else. And then we'll have a look at restocking some uncanny gear on Earthen, as he does seem to have some sales. We might even up the amount to make. Let's have a look. So that's all posted on. We'll have a look at leatherworking here. So uncanny gear down here. So we've got uncanny leather is all rank 3s. We had enough marks of Anna to buy rank 3s on all of those. And the uncanny mail, not quite as many rank 3s. We've only got one on the leggings is rank 3. Everything else is rank 2. But it's still a... Actually, that's not a profit on that one. That's coming out at minus 334 profit on the waist guard. And this one's coming out as a 4,000 profit. But you never know. I would still be tempted to make these because the profit depends on what variation you get at the end. Good evening, Kuhn. How are you? Just read the wrap-up. Great talent for writing and summarising for everything. Oh, thank you, Kuhn. It's very kind of you. How have you been? How's your Brutosaur challenge going with all the bugs and what have you? Because I know you sell a lot of stackable gear with all the sort of the ore and herbs that you farm. Hopefully you've got some gold back from that. Hopefully. If you're a gold maker, this must be the most unfun patch ever. Potentially, Zero Mixie. Not getting some of your gold back yet. I stress the part yet because it will come back eventually. Has been slightly frustrating for some, but it's lovely to have new gear like this uncanny gear to sell. So I definitely am having a lot of fun at the moment. I've also really been enjoying the storyline at the moment. Alpaca, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Can I show the Leatherworks groups for crafting and selling again? You've got a problem with not showing prices for those items. What should you do? So have a look at the price of your materials would be my main thing. So looking at this, if we go into TSM, so make sure that all the TSM is showing something at least in here. If it isn't showing anything, that maybe it hasn't got a price for all the materials required for it. Check your price that you've set for Expulsion, for example. That might be at a culprit then. Had amazing fun. Haven't started the story yet. Yeah, exactly. Rose did the opposite way for me. She went full on with the with all the selling, and I went first full on with all the story. Just do what's fun for you at the time. Still waiting for gold to come from Matt. Or did I miss one from earlier? So far no gold, so you've held off on the farming for the week. Holding out at 2.2 million gold so far. That's really good, King. Really good. With one untick and tick. What was that for? No, for the TSM groups that you crafted. For the TSM groups that I crafted for those uncanny. With one untick and tick for suffixes. Do you mean the actual... Oh, yes. I see what you mean, yes. Okay, so in my groups, if I go to this, so I have... This is exactly the same as I set up my Notorious. I have two groups. One uncanny crafting group, which has ignore item variations checked. So I've got all just like the base uncanny gear in there for my crafting operation. My crafting group, sorry. And the operation to craft of that is 5 of each. And then my uncanny selling has the ignore item variations unchecked, and I put in all the variations as I come across them, and I put them in here. And then the selling operation here is my uncanny sales operation, and that has a posting cap to 10, 0 undercut, and then I'm using mainly crafting here, 400%, 10,000%, and 900% as my main ones. No problem, Metcap. Hope that made sense. The dude no one likes. Well, you're most liked here. Well, welcome aboard. Hope you're doing well. No worries. Ramadan works just as fine for me. Thank you, Metcap. have a paste bin with my operations. I will do an update of my paste bin. Currently, my paste bins, if you have a look, these are pre 8.3, so I haven't updated them yet. But once I've sorted these out, then I'll repost them on and update them with 8.3. Once I've got a few more uncanny bits and pieces in there, that should work. So let's have a look at what we've got here at the moment. So notorious gear we should need to restock on. Let's have a look at what we've got on the auction house first. So we've got a load of not notorious, I mean uncanny. So uncanny gear is here. Now my notorious group, notorious crafting group, we no longer need this now. We're never going to craft any more notorious gear. So I'm actually going to delete that group. So I'm just going to sell what I've got left. So that can stay there. So let's have a look at our restocks as they stand. Let's go through, let's look at everything at the moment. Restock selected group. So some drums of fury, some diving helmets, and then some leather and a bow. We need to restock on all of those. So let's go through and start with those. Do we actually need to gather anything for this? We have 17 Expulsion, we need 3. So we're a bit low on Expulsion on that. So these do require, that requires 6 Expulsion, that requires 5, 3 there, 3 there, and 3 there. So my Expulsion is definitely depleted. I did stock up on a lot of this before 8.3, so that's gone through very quickly. I'll make what I can now and post those on, and then we'll have to do another tide spray shuffle to get ourselves a whole load more Expulsion. Maybe we can do that a little bit later. Just checking in on my stream, I've been seeing some of my Twitter posts because a friend tweets at me, you seem like a very chill person. Oh, it's very kind of you to say so. We do like to keep it as chill as possible here. Interestingly, those drums of fury, I made them here, but TSM has them as only 19 here. I think I'm going to need to do a reload here and see what happens there. Pleasant Tongue, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Hey Jin, how are you? Was it just you, or was there more than 20,000 time spray posted for less than 2 gold right after the patch? Was there really, Jin? That would have been awesome. It's a shame I didn't catch any of that at that time. Case, how are you? Could you please explain why dealing in lower eye level gear even works? You've always been fascinated by the auction house. I couldn't really understand it. Lower eye level gear is simply for transmog purposes. People will buy it for its looks, or occasionally they'll buy it for twinks if it has particular properties at a certain level, like sort of a level 19 twinks and things like that. There are certain best in slot items for that when you're fixed at that certain level. Nouzin, thank you very much for the follow. All the linen used was 9.5 gold. That's quite expensive. I don't know what it's like on Shadow Song now. We'll have to have a look at that. Maybe we'll pop back onto Samadan. So let's have a look at this, and we'll clear the queue and remake it. Restock selected. So we don't need to do the drums here. Let's do the helmets. See if those work. We might have to just make them one at a time. Well, they've come through now. That's counting down correctly now. That seems to be working. Still a good amount under 5 gold on Shadow Song, about 14,000. Okay, might be worth having a look at on Samadan then. Let's make at least some of this. We did sell a bow for a nice amount, so I'm going to make that next. And then I don't know what I've got left. I don't think I can make the waist guard. I've run out of Expulsion. So let's post those on now. We'll post what we can now, and we'll have to come back to the Expulsion as Samadan. So let's just post that on. We'll come back, maybe do a little bit of Expulsion just to get that last one on. Let's get those on. Now we probably don't have all the uncanny gear listed yet. So let me just double check that in my group and add anything we haven't done yet. So yep, we've got some new leggings types in there. I have to do this quite frequently until we've got every option covered. There we go. I'll stick that on for 7,000. That seems good. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you for tip on the item variations just now, though. You only had you only had 2 or 3 up total. Yeah, it's definitely worth having more. Certainly, you have over 1,000 Expulsion left to use up. That's brilliant. That's just the right position to be in, definitely. How do I do the uncanny craft group without using the name variations of all of them? That's exactly it. I have ignore item variations turned on for that, for the crafting group. So I'll just make, because I can't guarantee what type I'm going to make, my my crafting operation just has one of each one. So we've got all the leather, arms, gauntlets, legs, treads, waist guard, and the male arm guards, gauntlets, leggings, treads and waist guard, and then the bow here at the moment. And ignore item variations is ticked. This is the only time you can have the same item in 2 different groups. Normally an item has to stay in one group, but because we're using a combination of ignore item variations here, and then the selling is using the specific item variations, then we can have them as 2 different groups, one for crafting and one for selling. Hey Katuras, how are you? I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? Thanks for stopping by. Is the auction house mailing working again? After a fashion, stackable items do seem to be still getting lost on the sales at the moment. Blizzard are on top of it and they are working on a fix. It's not lost, however, it's just taking a while for it to come through. But things like uncanny gear, single items, transmog and what have you do seem to be working fine. We've had some sales through on Earthen here. So bear with them as they get the stackable items fixed, and your gold will go through eventually. Love it when farming and Alliance Pandaria comes to farm 2. You can actually talk to him and ask, can we share the wolf spawns? Oh, that's brilliant. All good, doing some AFK farming. Excellent, Katuras. Good to have you here. Right, so we got that. We need to just post on the last one that we added into the group there. I might have to do a reload on that. As we did add that one in, didn't we? Let me just check. I'll do the reload and then I'll check that I added it into the group. I'll run a post scan. Yeah, it does say done posting. Perhaps I forgot to add it in. Let's go have a look. Groups, uncanny selling. No, we do have it here. Do we have one still in my bags? Or have I already posted it? Maybe I already posted it. Those are my Fathom Stalker grips. I don't have any more on me. So maybe I did post it and didn't realise. Okay, that's fine. Let's head back inside so we can get rested on that. So we will need to get some more Expulsion here. We are down to 0 Expulsion. So that's going to be an issue. We'll come back out and we'll carry on with our other character, El Morte, for the moment. Greetings, Ignis. How are you? Nice to see so many viewers. It's lovely to have everyone here. Welcome on all, and it's good to have you here, Ignis. I hope you're doing well. Sold items now require 30 days to arrive. It may take longer. They haven't got a... we don't know exactly when it's going to be fixed as of yet. Xero, thank you very much for the follow. But Blizzard do assure us that once they have fixed it, your mail won't expire. But the moment it does come through, then you've got the usual 30 days. You watched some of Sharkham's stream yesterday. He gave away 2 long boys. I know Sharkham came back as well. It was lovely to see him. I popped in right at the beginning of his stream. I didn't see the full 24 hours, unfortunately. Just came home from work. 2 days of leisure ahead of you. Excellent, Ignis. Good to hear. I hope you're going to make good use of that. When I'm doing the bracelet shuffle, do I ever craft more than I have spare in my bags for? And trust the postmaster to mail it to you? Yes, all the time, Jin. I literally, when I craft my braces, quite often I would literally just set it off crafting and go off and do something else. And then I'll come back and open up the mail and process it after that. I'm okay with that. It usually works quite well. Ashelina, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And Eshelok, thank you also for the follow. When did I get my 120 rogue? I gave him... He was a 110 boost that I used a while ago, a couple of months ago, and he's currently working on Inscription. He also has herbalism at the moment to help with inscription, and then he's going to switch that over to jewel crafting. But I've been quite lax on getting him leveled up at the moment. It's taken me a long time. You met a fellow viewer on the mission table Saturday morning. We talked for a good 40 minutes about gold making. Oh, that's fantastic. That's what I love about the community, is everyone is really friendly in the gold making community. Have I ever tracked to see if I get them all? No, not at all. It looks like a lot when I get them, so I assume that that's enough, because I usually have about, say, 1,000 braces, and so tracking them all in the mail would be almost impossible, I think. Covering all bases, you've been out of the loop for a while. Exactly. It's nice being able to open lockboxes as well. Tyres, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Any update on when your gold will start coming through the mail? Nothing yet, Ashelina. We're still waiting on it. I haven't seen any more blue posts since the 17th, so a couple of days ago now. If they do post anything, I'll certainly tweet it or put it on my Discord. I'm expecting millions and millions of coppers. I'm hoping for some coming through. Maybe a few enchants on Samadan, and some potions on my druid as well. In terms of here, we have, again, these are at 24 days, so those aren't recent sales. We'll deal with the expires first. I'm not sure this market of living steel is going to be quite in demand at this stage of the game, but I'll keep posting them on just in case someone wants to do that, or the Panthers. You never know. So let's restock on those. Let's clear that out, and I guess let's just check, actually. Let's post everything on first. All gold will be sent across around to Rasheen. Exactly. Lockboxes. Converted your banker to a mechanome only to find you can't open barnacled lockboxes at level 20. Oh, of course. Oh, Marshmelia, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the Wowhead blog. We went through your amazing uncanny sales. It was lovely to see, and a great example of proper planning and making everything work smoothly in spite of all the auction house bugs. A number of people saying they are missing millions make you think either you are poorer than you have thought, or people are exaggerating how much could even be missing in the first place. I wonder, worked a game. It's hard to keep track of. I've got no idea. I couldn't. It's certainly not millions, that's for sure. Or both, exactly. I'm thinking of buying living ore and leather up. Leveling up ore and leather to Shadowlands, since levels will be squished. May the gear be usable, people might. It's kind of a big risk. It might be worth a go, certainly. Mindside, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. It was a fun process, and most of the work was done by vacation in December. In your vacation in December, yes, exactly. That was the front loading of the work. Getting all that Expulsion was particularly amazing. I think that's and then the marks of honour as well. Definitely worth doing it that way. And now you're reaping the rewards, which is lovely to see. These seem a little cheap. That wild jade at 199. Normally that goes up for a bit higher, but it's still a profit at my prices. So I'm okay with that for the moment, but we'll keep an eye on that. No living steel here at this point. So I need to process some of this ghost iron ore. Yeah, I don't have any living steel on me at all. So if we were to look at this and do a restock, let's have a look. I don't want to spend too much time on this character because I don't think, what have we got? River's Heart, Primordial Ruby and Wild Jade. Well, we can make those. Don't see any living steel coming up here on the list though. That's interesting. You've got about at least 400k missing. Wow. You have 1 to 2k tokens in the gold and the mailbox on the way. And you have all of Friday's Warfront sales. Okay, that's good. Some people say they are posting 20 plus million items each time, so who knows what could be lost. Wow, that's a lot. Posting 20 million yields what in daily sales? Mounts, for example, can be hundreds of thousands each, but they don't sell every day, so daily income is much lower than price. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My on Samadan, who's probably got the most diverse group, probably has about a million and a half in stock, I would say. Glad you got your long boy at the start of BFA, to be honest. It miss having a it did make you miss having a target to go for. That is true, actually. That was a really good way of honing in on what you really wanted to focus on. Am I using the 32 slot bags? I don't on this character. I've got actually just silkweave satchels. That's terrible. I could really do with upgrading those. I think this, 20 million worth, not 20 million items. Exactly, Rasheen. What it's worth is not exactly the same, is it? What do I add? If you guys do warfront turn-ins, keep an eye on the warfront building. You overspend 30,000 on a shimmer scale. Helmet's too much because you didn't see it closing. So you sold 45 out of 250. Yeah, that can sometimes happen. I guess it's a question of knowing the time it finishes and then reacting accordingly. I guess you'll always have stock for the next time it comes around. That's the other option. Solstice, thank you very much for the follow. You got 20 odd deep sea bags if you want a special price, Jin. Very kind of you. I'll probably just end up doing. I may do hexu bags. I'm not sure, but at the moment we're actually okay in terms of stock levels. We've still got 38 space on here, and we've got most of our stock in here. So there's no real need at this stage to restock to increase the coffers on this one. So it's interesting there's low prices here. I wonder why my living steel didn't get restocked on. Let's just have a quick look at that and see if I'm doing something wrong. It could be the operation isn't correct or something. Or maybe I do the living steel slightly differently. We don't have a crafting operation for it. No, we don't have a crafting operation for it. We just literally make it when we need to or when we have it. Auctioning, obviously we don't need these two on now. Living steel 10s and living steel 4s. Living steel just goes on at any point now. So we can change this. We'll take living steel 10s out. The post cap is now 30, so that's probably alright now. We'll keep it at that. And we'll just change the undercut amount to 0 copper now. And that should be okay for the moment. And we'll go and see if we can make some living steel. So let's have a look. I wonder if we should actually change that operation to include some living steel crafting operations. Let's have a quick look at that. So living steel group operation. Let's add in a 25 of each. Let's just check the operation here. So the minimum profit is either the smallest amount between either 20% crafting or 400 gold. That should work. Maximum restock quantity of 25. Okay, so if we then go into our alchemy and then click restock, we've got 25 we need to make. So we need to go through and just deal with some ghost iron, or at this stage we may not do the full 25 here, but let's make a few of these up. Prices may go down on this particular market because a lot more people are spending time in Pandaria now. So prices of Spirit of Harmony and such like I think are going to go a little bit lower as more people are spending time here. But let's just deal with this at the moment. So alchemy we don't want. We want mining, smelt, ghost iron. Now, how much have we got at the moment? We've got 149 in our bags at the moment. So let's just smelt a little bit more of this, and then I'll catch up on chat. What did I miss? Did anyone get their characters stuck during auction house activity? And several times since the patch, you had to wait 15-20 minutes for the character to log out before being able to log them in again. Oh, I've not heard of that one before. Oh, you didn't recognise the icon, thought it was the 32. Oh, right, of course. Okay, what else did I miss here? I doubt some people were flipping materials and thousands of items. Couple of minutes for you though. Okay. You're interested in making the 32 slot bags, but getting the rep for rank 2 and 3 is disheartening. What do you need for the rank 2 and 3? Wonder how many bracelets get shuffled by viewers during my average Goldmaker stream. I imagine quite a lot, Marcus, definitely. I only had login problems Friday morning. Okay, Hexu bag selling is dead now, you guess, since the deep show first. Not necessarily Darkwing. Rose would say you're certainly getting people search for the name as well as just looking in the bags. So I think it still does get some sales as Rose has accounted for. Plenty of people overestimating. Start making Hexu bags and make them for your alts. I mean, that's it works as well. Handled by Walrus. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm just catching up on all of my chat here. It's gone through quite quickly. It's good use of my smelting time at the moment. You sold 20 Hexu since the patch and only 4 deep sea bags. Well, there you go. And it's nice to have a much higher profit margin on the Hexu bags as a result. Pro gamer, make the Hexu but sell them and buy deep sea bags. Same size but a third of the price exactly. Rank 3 is revered with the turtles, and rank 3 is from Zul in Uldir. Right, okay. That would be a trick really, certainly for me. Might try selling some upgrade essences. Worth a go. Give it a go, certainly. The sales you've had have been bags. Oh, okay, Angelia, that's good to know. Right, we've got, how much ghost iron ore do we have at the moment? 238. Okay, let's see what we can do with what we have here. So we'll switch over to the alchemy and transmute trillium bars from our ghost iron bars. We'll see if we can get any procs here with our transmute master with any luck, and then we can at least get some living steel out of this. Keep selling them on 3 deep sea bags price on EU Kazakh. We also sell frostweeds at the same price as deep sea. Wow, that's a big difference. Don't know why or how. You don't really care exactly. As long as someone's buying them, I wouldn't complain either. Uncanny Gear, you're about 2.8 million in sales now. That's fantastic. That's really a really good chunk of gold there. So it's still going. It might be slowing down a little, but you may. Because you're running low on stock too. Exactly, yeah, I mean, that's a lot more Expulsion you're going to need to get as well, isn't it? And so now we can do... I think we'll do Riddle of Steel, because that takes the Harmony and the Trillium. And we have plenty of Harmony still. And they are roughly the same price each. So we'll make those. It's not a huge amount, but it's at least some living steel on. You may get a few sales here. Okay, that's all of those, and we'll go and post those on. It's not quite the 25 we needed, but it'll take a long time for me to process all of that ghost iron ore, so I'll leave that at that in this case, and we can always come back to that at a later date if we get some more sales. So we'll post that on there. That is quite cheap as well at 999. Normally I can get a little bit more than that, but it's still a good profit, so we'll post it on at that price. And then we'll go and log over to... We'll go back to Samadan briefly, just to make a few braces and see how the sales have been going there. Uncanny would have sold well for you. It wouldn't have been... would have been A with an in it. Its name in German. Yeah, that's a shame. It's a real shame. Not for you, the cloak is only level since you refuse to get corrupted gear and your Pandaria. And we learned from the Shah, old god power is evil. That's a good reason not to have it, certainly. So I think I can actually open this. I don't think I've actually opened this in a while. I've got no idea what's in this crate. Sinister Gladiator Silk Handguards. Okay. And our Heart of Azeroth power has increased to level 64. Okay, well that's quite cool. We can always disenchant that. We have 39 Expulsion on you. Okay, that's useful. Where was the gear? 385. What have we currently got on us at the moment? 400. Okay, that's fine. That's one to disenchant. Get ourselves a couple of veiled crystals, hopefully. A one and an umbra shard. That's good enough. Any updates on trying new professions for me? I think Zed had a few more to go. I did. I'm still working on inscription. We've got a long way to go still. Maybe we'll go and have a look after I've done a little bit here with Samadan. I need to make a few braces. So we'll have a quickish look at that. We can make it 173 off the bat. So we'll make those and we'll send those over. So that's a fairly small shuffle, but this will give us a little bit of Expulsion just to finish off Earthen with his leather working. And that shouldn't take us too long. We'll go through this and we'll rely on the mail to help us out with this. So we'll just stock up on all of these and let that run through. Hope to get some decent bind and account tokens for your mage. He's 370, I think, hasn't even unlocked dailies in leisure time. Yeah, it takes a while with alts, I've noticed. Just getting all the sort of the reputation, unlocking all the different areas. It does take some going, although I am relieved to be doing it now that we have flying. Flying makes everything so much easier. Tempted to buy another account, just stand and mill and make the inks. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually, Wave, because I could be doing this on a second account whilst I'm doing something else on my main account. That would certainly be useful and be a good use of my time. If you see sumptuous fur for 1 gold or cheaper, you can flip it into cards or Oma for a profit. Even better, Rose. Finding good ways to make your cards a profit is always worthwhile. You switch back and forth a few times. At least you can fly now. Yeah, exactly. Horde mode is the best mode. Absolutely. Well, I still have, actually. I haven't done anything with him yet. Nadamas, my Horde anti-Samadan. He's actually boosted to level 120, so I can play with my son from time to time. He has just the gathering professions at the moment. It would be interesting to do something with him, though. That's another 120 we can do something with. Navid Narj, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. You just came back to the game. No flying for this guy yet. Sad face. Well, it's worth doing, certainly. It makes a big difference. I know it's quite a grind to go through all the different reputations, but I'd certainly recommend it. And Mr. Donovan, thank you very much for the follow. Played a bit on both to get the achievement mounts. Oh yes, that's a point actually. I do need to do the story campaign. Just unlocked flying this morning before going to it. Oh, fantastic! Congratulations, Nebulous. Yeah, that's definitely worth doing. I keep encouraging my son to try and get flying, but I think he's let his subscription expire for the moment. Let's have a look actually what we could do next. Let's do these braces now, and we'll get some Expulsion for Earthen, and then we'll probably go over and have a look at Samadan and have a look at Inscription. I know I'm focusing on BFA Inscription at the moment, but I could really do with having a look at Legion Inscription as well, because I think that's where the real gold is, as Mushy has been telling me already. Played a bit of both to get the achievement. Did that one. Actually just need the Mechagon and Najitar reps, did everything else before you stopped playing before. Oh, okay, so that's not too bad actually. Flying is definitely worth it, yeah, definitely. Scrapping 8,000 braces and trying not to fall asleep. I know, Merrick, I know the feeling. Good luck on that one. Yes, Legion Inscription for the glyphs mainly, if I can get some of the harder to find ones. When you do the TSM group, how do I restrict it to specific rarity? E.g., if you want a group for uncommon and separate group for the same item but rare. You would have to do all the variations. Oh, separate group for the uncommon and rare. Let me have a think. Say, for example, we have a look at my groups here. Did I say that I ignore item variation? No, not when I post. When I craft, I ignore the item variation. When I post, I have item variation accounted for. You lost your interest in the game after getting... What's THST? I just sold your first Vial of the Sands. Super excited. Oh, excellent. Congratulations, so Scrumpy. You need to find some time to dedicate to farming up Vial of the Sands. Not a motivating idea at all. No, I know. It's one of those things I would like to add to my repertoire, especially on my Alchemist Awakening. I think he'd enjoy that. So what was I looking at here? Groups. Okay, so we got send to Earthen. So I'm having ignore item variations unchecked. I've got all the greens that I'm sending to Earthen here that works. And then what have I got in the braces? There's something else I've got in here. I'm on Samadan, braces super shuffle, center Earthen, coarse leather and shim scale. It's not that one. I'm trying to think where I've put the actual group for it. PFA tailoring, I would have thought it would have been in one of those, maybe not. Tide spray send greens, it was this one. So this is sending the greens to Earthen. So it's got all the different green variations there. So those are all getting sent. The group operation there is to send to Earthen. So I think in order to specify between green and blue items, because none of the blue items here are in the list, so I'd have a separate group for all the blue ones, and I'll do something different with that. So that's how it would work. Oh, Happiest, thank you very much. 4 months. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. That's fantastic. Thank you for your support. I see lots of emotes for Happiest. Thank you very much indeed. Grind for the jars, get recipe, then grind for the primals to make the silly thing. Yeah, it's quite an investment, isn't it? This expansion is the first time you ever had the feeling to quit the game. Really, Darkwing. I'm sorry to hear that. It's one of those things. It probably gets you at different times. I mean, I had a massive break between end of Wrath of the Lich King and Legion, so that was a big, massive time. But then I was spending my time with the family and working, so it was just, you know, it happens at different times, and I've come back to the game. Sometimes a break is as good as the rest. You're using a mail operation for your greens and blue braces, since you have them on different characters. Yeah, exactly, Wave. Sorry, not primals, volatiles. Oh, yes. Fair enough. Right, so let's have a look at processing these. Let's stand by the mailbox. So, now, we've got all of these that we want to send over first. But first we want to disenchant the blues. So I'm going to do these by hand here, because that's usually easier. Now this is going to be a slightly different system. Now that the mailbox is so much faster, I can't do what I used to do. So what I might do is just actually open up the mail, and I'm going to go groups, mail selected groups to get rid of all of the greens. Then I'm going to open up my disenchanting window, keep that side by side, and that's already ready there. Coarse leather greaves of the quick blade doesn't need to be there. Why is that there? Well, let's disenchant that whilst we're on here. Might as well get ourselves an extra one here. And we'll just disenchant these as we go. And then when we need to send some more over, we'll literally open up those and then send them over. We'll let that process. This is the mailbox in action, going from one side to the other. I don't think I've got bag space for all of it. Well, no, not quite. So then we'll just send that lot over. And then we're just left with the blues. Then we'll open that last bit and just send that last one over, and then we're done with the mail. So that was quite quick, and then we can just concentrate on disenchanting for this next bit. That should work. And then I'll just keep that disenchanting. You got a 6 million sub, 6 month sub, so you're stuck for a bit. Well, that's fair enough. Even if you have a 6 month sub though, don't think of it as a sort of like sunken cost fallacy. If you feel like you need a break, go for the break. Does TSM have a disenchanting feature? It certainly does. I'm using it now. It's called TSM Destroying. You type in either /TSM Destroy, or it will automatically pop up when you've got something disenchantable available. It does sometimes bug out and get stuck. In those cases, particularly in laggy areas, the fix is to literally close it down and open it up again, which I've got a keyboard shortcut to do that. It's a lot easier then. And Rashin's got you there as well. Excellent. You've literally made a macro each time. That's certainly one. It's not automatic disenchanting. It will just populate the list, and you can, with things that are in your bags that can be disenchanted, and then I'm having to manually scroll the wheel and hold control down to do each disenchant. So we have a few there. So let's go back over to Earthen. We're okay on everything else here. Oh, I didn't check any sales. But that would be rather hopeful if I did. So let's go over to Earthen. We'll have a look there. You can suspend your sub for a bit, so you can keep your sub time on your account whilst you take a break. Oh, I didn't realise you could do that, Tessa. That's really cool. Very nice of Blizzard to do something like that. Very understanding, I think. So we now have... Oh, I never opened the mail from the sales. Let's do that. Let's pick up our lovely gold. And then let's pick up everything else we've got here. So our time spray braces. This should fill our bags up quite rapidly. I don't know if I should leave a little bit of space for the Expulsion and the tide spray linen and nylon thread to scrap back into. I don't think I'll do this all in one go. So I'll just stop it there, leave myself a little bit of space, and then we'll fly on over. Speaking of Vala of the Sands, this is a lovely gift from Midnight Hawk, which I use all the time on Earthen and when ferrying my son around. This is our favourite mount to use. Alright, let's go over here, and we'll start scrapping these. So let's queue these up. We just need a little bit of Expulsion here, so this should be enough for a little bit anyway. Didn't know either, then you never unsub since you started. That's fair enough. Once you're in a lot of the time. There we go, Midnight's. Midnight's here in the chat. The kindest gifter. You only unsub for 7 months during a abroad internship with no PC to game on. Exactly, that's a good idea. If you don't have access, there's no harm in postponing it for a while, certainly. Been playing for free since tokens. Well, that was my motivation once I got back into Legion and I found out about the tokens. That's what really got me into gold making. Been playing with euros since you started playing. Don't you get like a... If you'd like been subbed from the very beginning, don't Blizzard send you something if you had like an unbroken streak? I thought that was a thing. I mean, I certainly didn't have it because I stopped paying at the end of Wrath of the Lich King. I paid all the way up until then with real money. But then I didn't... if I'd known that was a thing, I would have kept my sub going. Just because I like things like that. Never considered suspending the account just to keep it. You got a few free mounts over the years. Oh, really? That's fantastic. Sent people statues. Oh, fantastic. I'm sure I saw someone having a statue of something. Yeah. I've got a load of mini statues that were kindly given to me by my son's GM. They're all over on the thing over here, the shelf. I've got the Ragnaros and the collector's edition, and I'm not sure who I've got of everyone. Troll Shaman, the Blood Elf Assassin Lady, Sylvanus, and I think it might be Thrall. I'm not sure exactly. And a Draenei Lady. But they're all over there. They've got slightly broken weapons on them. During tickets and issues, you got a few and some pets. Oh, that's brilliant. Your hubby got a statue as well. Oh, fantastic. You got 33,000 gold for the first token you ever bought with money. Wow. That's quite the difference, isn't it? Right, we're up to, was it 13 Expulsion at the moment? Okay, so that's not too bad at the moment. The good old days, starting at 30 or 35,000. Yeah, I miss the big inflation of Warlords of Draenor. That's when lots of people managed to get lots of gold, and certainly got gold capped as well. I would have enjoyed that time, I think. Although, having experienced Warlords of Draenor content, maybe not. There was a bit of a drought on that one. You should have spent it all. Yeah, definitely. Right, so going through all of this, we'll move on to Samadan and Inscription after this. We just want to get a little bit more Expulsion going. So a quick shuffle here is worth doing at least. I'll just get the rest of these braces through. And then we'll do those. Come back this way. Jump over here. And the last of this will come through. Let's have a look at the Expulsion on that. So 17 at the moment. Gold Goblin, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Is that I like the shark. I thought that was a shark in emote for a minute then. That's fantastic. How have you been, Gold Goblin? How's your gold making since 8.3 been? And Qzart, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. You had a goal to buy one on gold cap, and then they increased the gold cap. Now you promise yourself you get a long boy if you hit cap before Shadowlands. That's fair enough. Darkwing, I think that's a good target to have, certainly. Is it a thing that makes you not be able to loot gold from your mailboxes? Because that's that's brilliant. Gold Goblin stalking. After complaining about the turtle rep, I decided to go draw shapes for them. Well, there you go. There's always some fun to be had with the Tortollans. It's a German shark. Oh, okay. So it's a meme. Oh, right. Okay. That's fantastic. So 21 Expulsion. That's a little bit to keep us going. There's a couple of uncanny gear. Not a lot. But we did have one in our list to make. So let's just clear the queue on the alchemy. And restock on... We've got some greaves and the waist guard to make. So we'll make one of those. I could probably do with starting to make some more uncanny gear. I really should have more. I think I should have at least 10 of each. Having 5 of each I don't think is quite enough. Interesting, that's gone below minimum price now. Very interesting. I wonder what price that is actually at. Crafting cost is at 1,000. We'll post that on as it is. I'm happy with that as it is anyway. Always trolling this. A German helicopter is a hubscrabber or something. Oh, right. Hubscrabber, that sounds good. Is PvP still the way people are getting marks of honour? Pretty much, Will Webster, definitely. They write things down with a Kugelschreiber. Even better. Nameless, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Wait for Comp Stomp. Yes, that's another one, Rose, is the Comp Stomp. I don't know when the next one is. It might be a little while away yet. Let me see if I can park myself somewhere. Okay, we're pretty much done there. Okay, so let's go over to Samadan and have a look at the inscription. We were going to level this up somewhat, so we'll have a look at that. March the 1st, or the week off. Okay, thank you, Rose. How is 8.3 so far? Thinking of buying Game Time to try it? I would certainly give it a go. I've been enjoying the storyline on Samadan so far, and then we just got back into some gold making, despite all the bugs at the moment with the auction house, because I'm assured that the gold will come if it's a little bit slow in the mail. But there we go. Here's all the new things. The new the visions, I think, should be fun for someone who likes that kind of thing. Certainly. And the new auction house is definitely fun. What do English people used to write with? Just a pen, yeah, or we might use a biro, if that's like a specific brand of pen, or a pencil. But that's about all, really. Depends on what you want to do exactly. See, it's more the pen or something short for looks like a pen. They use some big word. I found a level booster that wants 4k per run of freehold, and he says it gives 20 to 30% XP per run. You might try and buy a discount from him, make him level your 17 alts whilst you're AFK on your Brutosaur and make gold. Interesting idea. Squabbles, how are you? Me and both the cats are doing very well. We've not got an Oreo tonight though. He's been tucked away upstairs, so we haven't seen him. Or a ballpoint Ben, yes, that's another one. You have a Shrift, is that Shrift Jerry? Something like, I know I've butchered the pronunciation of that one. Or just a pen, that would work as well. Mythic plus some, okay, Guinea, good to have you here. Hope good luck on your Mythic pluses. Certainly, Joel, if you like, and it's safe for us. Don't forget fountain pens, of course. That's another one, yes. Although it's nothing like a fountain, really. Or a calligraphy pen. That would be another specialist pen. She might be able to pronounce it. Yeah, she hasn't done any Dutch in a while, actually. She's given up on a Duolingo for a while. But we'll have to give it a go, certainly. You really don't use the U in English. Footage of everyone's gold on the way to the mailbox. Okay. In Pendi Shriven Ken. Okay. Thank you, Moshi. Alright, let's have a look at Samadan then. So we're looking at inscription and leveling that up. We are at the moment, herbalism. We are at, no, it's herbalism. No wonder we're at 175. Inscription, we are at 87 of 175. Okay. Ball pen or just Flemish Nenbik. Oh, okay. So looking at, we had some potential sales, didn't we? We bought some things. I remember last time we looked at this last week. Let's go have a look at the mail. We might actually have something in there. Probably expires, but you never know. Let's have a look. Okay, so that was it. The War Scrolls. We tried selling these. We didn't get any sales, obviously, from looking at this. We did buy some up cheap. I accidentally bought some expensive as well. And then we've got a little bit of transmog here I've put on as well. So let's take these and we'll repost those on. You never know, we might get some sales there. And then we'll come along here. Safe to watch. Okay, thank you, Mashi. Let's have a look. What's the... oh, hold on, we've got an ad. I'll go through that. Slug or snail, which is faster? Put them to the test. Okay, this is everyone's gold in the auction house. Yeah, that's probably about right, I'd say. That's how fast it's going. That's fantastic. Looks like the snail's faster. Although saying that a snail without a shell is always a little bit sluggish when it moves, so no wonder. Take a few days, they said. Yes, exactly as Rose said. What was that for? Any news about the auction house? Yes, they are working on it. There will be fixes incoming. Is it safe to post things in the auction house? Will they bring back a spark the gold? Yes, they will, Chapter. Nothing is lost. They're tracking everything, so feel free to post. I'm posting everything at the moment anyway. Such a dad joke. It is indeed. That's you trying to get out of bed. It's just very, very slow delivery, as we saw with the slugs and the snails. It's incredibly slow. Okay, so let's post on what we have here. I don't need that group. Let's get rid of that, the starter equipment group. I think that one's beyond us at the moment. There's nothing in it anyway, so we'll delete that one. And so we'll do the transmog we have here, and the inscription doesn't actually have a group here. So let's make one up here for, where is it? War Scroll of Battle Shout. That's what we were looking at. So let's make a new group here. I'm sure I must have set this up, but maybe I lost it in transferring between computers. Inscription. Let's start a new group, and in this group here we'll call this BFA in can't spell inscription. There we go. And then we'll have the War Scroll of Battle Shout. We'll make a new group here, call them War Scrolls. That will work. And we'll add in this one here. So 11 auctions on at the moment. Min buyout is currently 500 gold. Crafting cost is 367. So we'll add that in. And then the bug came with a Friday morning hotfix. Something broke it. On the, what was that for? Did I miss one? On the PTR, the sales came instantly in the mail. I guess they overcompensated. Yeah, something like that. And it swung back the other way. Now it's over 9,000. It's actually a good time for money making. You made over 100,000 selling enchants while I was watching my stream. Assuming the gold will ever be delivered. Oh, that's fantastic. So hopefully it'll get delivered and you'll get your sales. I'm hoping the same on my enchanting as well. Rubber Ducky, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Anyone else having issues with the panda farm? The new plots keep resetting. I've not tried that, will you know? I haven't done the panda farm in a long time. I could test it out for you next time I'm on Awakening, though. Let's finish off with this auctioning operation, though, whilst we're here. Do I have a... We don't have a crafting operation on this character, so let's make a new one up. Create a new operation. Call this crafting standard. This is kind of like my standard. I can always vary it up a little bit. Standing? No, standard. Standard. Okay, so this is going to be a new posting group for our war scrolls. Let's just bring our bags up for a minute and we can look at the tooltip at the same time. So the war scrolls are over here somewhere. There they are. So that way we can look at the min, max and average at the same time. So with the default settings, min, normal and max is 91 gold, 734 gold and 1,800 gold, which is obviously not good for us because our crafting cost is 367. So we'll change this group operation So posting, let's go with 48 hours. How many have we got on us at the moment? 15. So let's change this post cap to say 20 for the moment. That should cover us for the time being. Now the default is the bid at 100% and the undercut amount is 0 copper. So we'll use, what should we use here? We'll use the crafting, DB market and DB region market average as our 3 standard variations. And we'll look at the maximum between those. I'll take as that. So the maximum between 110% crafting or say something like 60% DB market or say 50% DB region market average. So that would be my base posting. So it won't go below 110% crafting or a really big fluctuation in that. So the minimum price is going to be quite, what's that, at 404 gold the minimum price is. So my crafting cost is 367. So then we'll use that and copy it and change the percentages for the maximum and the normal. So we'll post that at that. And we'll increase this amount. So instead of 110% crafting, let's go for 300% crafting, or we'll have a look at something. Let's make that 200% DB market or 200% region market, whichever is the bigger of the two. So we missed one there, so let's just change that to 200%. And change that to 200%. There we go. So our maximum price now is 1,100 gold. And then our normal price is going to come in at something in between the two. So let's take our normal price at something like 150% crafting. And let's go with 100% DB market or 100% DB region market. Just kind of see what that number is there and compare it against the DB market and region market. So we're looking at a minimum price of 400 gold. So looking at that, market value is actually telling me 397. So we are currently okay, but region market average is actually 337. Sale average is actually 124. So we are punching quite high here. We may have to adjust this. Normal price 551 gold, maximum price 1,100. So we'll try and sell it at that price. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. I realise I've missed a load of chat on whilst I've been brainstorming that. So let me just have a quick post of this on. Run a post scan. Undercutting competition at 500 gold. And we're going to post all 15 on. So we'll do that in one go. There we go. See if we get any sales that way. Now, what did I miss on the chat? Just trying to do it before patch already. There's quite a few non-BFA things broken as well. Since 8.3 it has. Okay. Thank goodness for no 8.35. I was kind of hoping for an 8.35. They also broke Legion and Karazhan. Okay, just break everything when they release the patch. No one can complain about the boring gating on the visions. Karen Mythic starts at Medivh regardless of lockout or no lockout. Oh, right, okay. I've never really used lockouts myself. I don't know how they work. Maybe they should hire Baylor as game dev. He's a game dev, you know. Yes, I have heard that. Although I could call myself a game dev, as I've worked in game development for many years, although only in the graphics and animation side of things. Did I take a look at the spreadsheet you linked in Discord for inscription? Not yet, Wave. I think I looked at it briefly, but I haven't actually gone a full in-depth look at it. At the moment, I'm just looking at the BFA side. I do want to look into the sort of the Legion side and glyphs and things like that as well. Blizzarius, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. And Dado, good to see you. Is there a way to set TSM to post auction with no bid price? I believe if you just set it to 100%, I don't think it has a bid price on commodities anyway. But I would just set it to 100%, and that'll keep it the same as your buyout price. You're a game dev too. You check stuff works in game all the time. There we go. If you worked as an artist, you were a game dev. There is no only about it. That's true. Very much so. Unpaid though. Hey Speckett, how are you? You're here. Thanks for waiting. Hi everyone. You're okay. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Be an excellent tester indeed. Yeah, definitely. Have we played around on TSM already? Certainly have. It's been good fun so far. The team who made the new auction house mailbox changes have done a great job. It's a huge thing. It's bound to have bugs. Exactly. I'm of the same sentiment, definitely. It's not that it would. Certainly can be things happening to your accounts and banks and stuff. Yeah. Just for milling and scrolls. Okay. Thank you, Wave. Oh yes, enter the values for all the bits and pieces. Yeah, war scrolls. Okay, thank you for that, Wave. I'll keep a note of that. I'm going to bookmark it now. Let's pop that in my World of Warcraft. I can have a look at that in more depth after the stream. But thank you, Wave. Thank you for sharing. You did it still having a bid price. When you want to cancel, you're charging. Okay. You wanted to avoid it, posting manually and cancelling with TSM at the moment. Right, okay. Well, maybe post in the TSM Discord, the WoW Economy Discord rather, and under the TSM support section. Maybe they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Not sure if anyone's already said or noticed it, but you notice that when TSM scans terribly slow, just closing the auction house and restart the scan helps a lot. Okay, Specker, thanks for the tip. Here the US you could do with some Bernie love. Okay, oh that was for you talk Blizzard. You heard that underpay. Oh yes, yeah. I'm not sure about Blizzard's pay. I think they do by game dev standards do pay slightly below the margin, but then you do get a sword after 5 years. So there is that. All right, let's have a look at our inscription at the moment. Is there anything we can actually pick up at the moment? There's a few things we can learn here. Oh yes, we've got contract 7 Legion. We've got lots of contracts here we could possibly do now that we're at 75. And we can get up the ranks of some of these, in fact. I don't know if people are still using these contracts. Maybe alts will. We can maybe have a look at a few of those. Commander Bond, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely week so far. I think you received the email when you paid the premium, where the contacts are started. I don't think I've received the email when you paid the premium. All game devs play below standard for any non-C-suite role. Yeah, I think most game devs are pretty strapped for cash. Way back when crunch was just like a taken thing, it was kind of like, oh yeah, you should, because you love games, we'll just underpay you and we'll work you really hard. And then it kind of matured a little bit. I know there's still a lot of crunch in the games industry, but at least the pay has reflected it so much. I mean, I haven't done games in a long while, but when I was in it, it was definitely sort of some places really valued you for your time and paid you accordingly. Certainly, those old inscription contracts are still quest turn-ins at times. Okay, Commander Bond, that might be worth. Mechagnome Volpera rep sells good for you. Okay, that's a good idea. I don't think I've got to the Mechagon stage at this point, though. Looking at what I can do at this point. Let's have a look. So, yes, I've got all of these are obviously saying a negative because I've only got the rank 1s. I could possibly pick up the rank 2s and 3s by having a look at these. So we need Honoured with Tortollan Seekers, Honoured with Order of Embers. Now I think we have honoured with 7th Legion. We can have a look at our reputation here. Just a few things that we have got. Yes, we do have honoured with Storm's Wake and 7th Legion, so we can do those certainly. Have I ever worked with EA? Oh no, Vaporgen. I heard horror stories with EA when I was in game dev for a long time. A lot of my friends who did go over and work with EA, there was a whole there's a whole thread on one of the forums I frequented about EA Spouse, which was just like a horrible crunch at the time. I don't know what they're like now, but at the time we're talking about sort of like at least sort of 10 years ago. They were renowned for horrible working conditions, but EA was such a big organisation, big publisher, so different development studios will have different experiences certainly. People get paid for crunch, don't they? Oh no, a lot of it is unpaid. I did a fair amount of unpaid overtime when I was at Rare, but they also had a very good bonus scheme, so they did compensate you once your game got released. So it was kind of like a big sort of pros and cons really. If mill rates are different from the common herb, oh, I haven't looked into the mill rates yet. Anchorweed has a different mill rates, but anchorweed is not a common herb. Yes, that's a bit different, isn't it? But I'll have to have a look at mill rates and stuff like that at the moment. What I need to do here, though, is I'll get my 7th Legion as I'm just over here anyway. We can pick that one up. There we go. And so Vindicate. We want to browse your goods. We want the contract 7th Legion. We'll take that. Thank you very much. That's a start. And then the Storm's Wake one is going to be obviously over in Storm's Wake. You'll probably head on over and do that one, as it's only just over the mountains. We'll do that. Someone posted the results of 100,000 mils of each, and you're right, definitely. All right, okay. So I'm assuming it'll be the central area in Storm's Wake for this one. Am I thinking the right one? I'm thinking... let me just double check that before I go flying off in the wrong direction. Yes, Stormsong Valley. We've got that. Let's go over that way. But it has some data for me. Here gathered for several people, and lots from Billis. Oh, okay, thank you, Rashid. Those numbers are trustworthy and correct. Well, I would certainly trust those ones. Full Legion worksheet. Results from milling a lot of Xenonthid. Wow, okay. I'm going to have to sit down with a coffee and go over that one. But thank you, Rashid. I'm going to add that one to my list of things to look at. Thank you very much. I'm terribly out of date with my tunes. Is that the long-planned rogue inscription? It is indeed, Commander Bond. We are level 120, which is fantastic. But Inscription is a slow developer at the moment. I keep getting distracted by lots of different things, as is always the way. Seriously, have a love-hate relationship with you. 4 days without Silas. I know the feeling, Speckett. It happens to us all. To the left is more. Okay, thank you, Rasheen. So, where are we? What are we doing? We're going over here. We're trying to get some... oh, there's an invasion on at the moment. That shouldn't affect me, I think. If I head off into the central area, which is over here. That invasion's over on that side, so that should be fine. Bone Arrow, how are you? Hope you're doing well. So I'm thinking the standard quartermaster type person should sell me what I want. So we'll have a look here, and we are at Honoured, so we contract Storm's Wake, rank 2. We'll pick that one up as well. So this is all good progress. Even if we don't manage any sales of these, we can at least use this for leveling up. Where are my contracts that I've just bought? There they are. So let's learn that one. Storm's Wake, rank 2, and the second one, the 7th Legion, rank 2. So now when we look at our inscription, so 7th Legion is going to cost me, let's have a look at this in TSM at the moment. Let's look at things that we can skill up on and things that we could potentially sell. So we could use the WoW Professionals Guide to help us here, but we're also going to look at TSM and look at what we could do to level up effectively, really. I mean, obviously these contracts aren't going to be particularly good either on sale rate at this stage of the game. I can't see people using these contracts. Like we said earlier, with the oh, you still need to do your B daily. Drink some beers to forget the buff. Which buff is that one? This one, or is that a different one? That's for someone else, isn't it? We're also looking at things here as to we need to do the Mechanome contract. That could be something to do here. We need to unlock that at this point. None of this look like Dark Moon Card of War is going to need a price on the Expulsion, I think. People buy them to get extra Paragon chests for artifact power. Do they really? Oh, okay. I was thinking they wouldn't be used at all, but that's useful to know. So we did have War Scroll of Battle Shout. That's currently a profit at the moment. We're also looking for skill ups really here. So in terms of, if we right click on this and look at crafting cost, this will cost me 417 gold to make each one. Anything else, that would cost me 2,000 gold. So in terms of skill ups, I don't think we can do, can we use this filter? Has skill up. Right, those are the skill ups. And this is the crafting cost. So the cheapest thing we could make at this point would be we could use a couple of our Expulsum to make a Dark Moon Card of War. A random Dark Moon Card of War, collect a full set to receive a reward. I've not really looked into the Dark Moon cards, but that is certainly interesting. We've also got some other things here. That's regular inscription. We want to focus on Colteran inscription here. So we're looking at crafting cost here. We're looking at cheap things really. So the War Scrolls are slightly cheap. The contracts still sell. Champions, Sotoi, Proudmore, for some reason they're your best sellers. Okay. You wouldn't craft Darkmoon cards at this point. Okay, they were good at the start of the expansion. Okay, so they may not be good now, but they could be a cheap way of getting a few skill points. You agree on that one? Okay, thank you, Mashi. So we might be better if contracts, as you're saying, are still selling, Adriana. I'm thinking some contracts might be worth it. I've only got the rank 2s on these. I could really do with a good sale rate is the Champions of Azeroth one, because that's obviously artifact power, isn't it? Contracts are good for alts, including myself for that matter. So I could go for a cheaper one here. Maybe let's make a few and see if we can test the market out a little bit. What do we need materials-wise for these? We need light parchment, ultramarine ink, and crimson ink. In order to get some crimson ink, let's change our filter, turn off the has skill up, and then have a look at the crimson ink. Let's use the standard one here. So we can make 75 crimson ink with the stock we currently have. So let's make those whilst we can. So might as well do that one. Darkmoon cards. Cards of Omens, definitely. Okay, thank you, Rose. If you're crafting to get skill points, then possibly make them. Just Darkmoon cards were for the decent trinket at the start of the expansion, so maybe better options for people to buy. They could still sell. It would just be the odd one who's buying them. Okay. Put the mats into something else, all you're saying. Oh, that's good advice, Senpai Sark. Thank you very much. Been making solid cash off contracts, 250 to 300 gold minimum, 800 for Volpera when 8.3 dropped. Okay, Daily Show, that's also good to know. And Tome with the Quiet Minds are also good. So we have some options here. We've got a few things. We've got we could do with getting some these up to rank 3 certainly, from looking at this. So that means reputation, and reputation means emissaries. So I need to have a list of things to do. One of those is going to be to get my reputation up. I didn't manage it all with the WoW anniversary event, unfortunately. Matches, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. But we've got a number of options here. We can at least skill up. We can maybe do a few of the Tome with the Quiet. Was it Tome with the Quiet Minds, you said? Are good as well, yes, Matcap. So we can maybe do these whilst they're yellow. We can maybe look at some of those. We can add those on, and then we can maybe look at some of these other ones and add those in. Crafting inks is so slow, but in a way that's good because it turns everyone away from doing it, and then true gold makers get the gold. Exactly. We gold makers certainly don't mind a bit of tedium from time to time. And using a contract yourself too when doing world quests. Exactly. I haven't got any contracts here. I did have some in my bags, I believe. We'll have a look at that. You need to do the turtle rep for the Tomes of the Quiet Mind. Okay, that's worth doing. Yes, Tortolan Seekers revered we need. So we really need to focus on Inscription does look like it needs a lot of reputation for all of these things. So we do need to think about focusing on that. Reputation wise, Order of Embers and Proudmore Admiralty are only at neutral. Storm's Wake's fine at honoured. Obviously we'd like to get these to revered. Tortolan Seekers is only at neutral. So I'm thinking we should focus also, as well as making all of these things, we should focus on having a look at pressing the right button to bring up our maps and looking at our emissaries, because those are a good way of getting good chunks of reputation. Proudmore Admiralty will also give me some equipment caches, and then Alliance War Effort will be another good one, and then Order of Embers would also be useful. And as we have flying, this would definitely be worth doing, running around and doing these ones. You can also focus on glyphs. Yeah, I'd go get the glyph recipes too. Nice steady earner. So are there BFA glyphs, or are we talking Legion glyphs at this point? The glyph recipes don't need the rep, just other stuff. Okay. A lot of Crimson Ink and not enough Ultramarine crafts. Oh, okay. Legion and Prior. Okay, thank you. Well, mostly Legion. Yeah, I was thinking doing glyphs. I wanted to get into that after sort of fleshing out the BFA side, thinking I'd start with current content and work my way backwards. But I have heard from several people that glyphs are the way to go forward with Inscription. So that's really, really positive to hear it from multiple people. Teason, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So whilst we're looking at this, let's focus on these contracts for the moment. So let's see what we can make at the moment. Let's have a check of my bags. Do we actually have any? We do have a few of the contracts here that I had left over from other characters. So we've got Champions of Azeroth, Order of Embers, Proudmore Admiralty, and Storm's Wake. So what are we missing there? Champions of Azeroth, Order of Embers, Storm's Wake, Tortolan Seekers, and 7th Legion. So let's, in order to skill up and also to have one in our bags for each of these, let's create one each of these. I know they're not a good number at the moment, but we'll just create one each of these so we have them. And then I can make myself a group that has all of those. We've got our skill up to 89. So, and trinkets, they sell well for you. Yeah, we need to do that one as well. It'd be fun to see me in the visions. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be terrible at something like that. I'm not sure if I'll even do them. 1% does not require item variation. As that's crafting, it says ignore item variations. Okay. Is that for, I haven't been able to get the crafting queue to work for uncanny gear. Oh yes, we went through that, Lamphir, we were talking about that earlier. As Rasheen said, you need 2 groups for it. One for crafting, one for selling. Dado, he'll bring a tank and DPS, no worries. Okay, that could be interesting. Hard thing with stocking up on all the glyphs is keeping up with the mats. Okay, work for game. That'd be work to game. Sorry, that'll be interesting to see when we get there and see what we need. Crom, how are you? What if there's a specific video or live stream where you go over setting up inscription? You're looking at it right now. We're doing it live as we stand at the moment. I am literally just got started in inscription. We're just working on leveling it up at this point. We're only at level 89 of inscription. So this is a good start as any, really. We're looking at what we need to do. We need to look at reputation. We're just starting in setting up a group here. So we've just started on contracts. So I'm going to add in BFA inscription. I'm going to add in contracts because we've got one each of the contracts here. So we can at least have a look at these. And we'll name this group contracts. Like so. And then I'm going to add in each of these ones we currently have. Now we could potentially try and sell these for some gold, although my crafting costs and profits are not particularly good at the moment, because if we look at contracts at the moment, nothing is a profit on the contracts because of our rank 2s and 3s are not quite there really. So we need to work on reputation before we start selling them. But at the moment, these are worthwhile doing just for skilling up, because we do have the materials for some of these. We also need to look at the Tome of the Quiet Mind as another potential seller, because that needs the Tortollan Wrap to get the rank 3. Not quite a profit at the moment, but as it's still yellow at the moment, it might be worth crafting a few of those just to get ourselves a potential skill up. There's 2 we can make, so I'm going to add that into our list of things to make. And we've got 1 skill up, and we've actually got 2 skill ups for that, so that's good. We can add that to our list. Can't remember which one is BFA, but Glyph of the Humble Flyer or Glyph of the Sentinel Owl both sell 1 Indonesian. Oh, that's a good point, Mushy. The cost of my ink. I haven't calculated that. Not a profit is better than 100% loss. Exactly, Speckett. I have got my ink at currently telling me a crafting cost here. Mat cost of 45 gold 92. So it'll just be the standard one that comes through TSM. So I do need to look at that. All druid glyphs sell well, like literally all druid glyphs. Okay, that's a good hint. Thank you, Rasheen. There's loads of good information coming in here, which is useful. Ultramarine ink is giving me, and that's interesting. It's giving me a mat cost of 3 gold 30 based off my market value. Crafting cost is coming in actually at 21 gold, so that's very expensive. It's just abstract because herbs make pigment, and pigment makes inks, and inks make the items, so it's a lot of changes for it to get screwy. Yeah, I remember Trax Gaming does a video on inscription prices. I need to look at that in a bit more detail. I need to go away and have a look at that one and work out what's going to be the best way to price my ink, certainly. Aaron Carl, thank you very much for using your Prime. Very kind of you. Okay. I'll take your advice, Rasheen. But thank you, Aaron, for the Prime. Keep up the great content. Wish you streamed more. I would stream more. I try to balance it between my family and work and everything. But thank you very much. Have a whole load of emotes. Thank you for your support. Hold on, what have we got here? So, okay, yeah. So, extra common items sell to get pretty much like changing herb mat price to account for the Silas proc. Oh yes, yeah, we talked about that before. how that will screw over the price of lots of your other things you've got going on. It's better to have it as a crafting one. Okay. But it's now not making the assessment. The price of distilled water is wrong. Okay, let's have a look at that. And what else? The costs don't sound right at all. Should be able to make a profit on the tomes even with rank 1. Okay, burning embers is profitable on your server even if you vendor it. Okay, can you go into materials? Okay, let's have a look. Fix your cost of distilled water. So distilled water. Let's have a look at this. So where does distilled water come from? What is using distilled water? Just so I can have a look at that. Oh, it's a vendor one. Okay. Distilled water is 20 for 2 silver. It's a vendor item. Okay, thank you. So let's have a look at that. Let's go into our that and look at our distilled water. So this is at without reputation price, because I don't have a lot of reputation. Okay, so currently we have 20 for 2 gold, 50, telling me a mat cost of 13 copper. That would be right, I think. Mat cost coming at 13 copper, which is half of 250 and divided by 10. Aesop, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So let's go into my materials. Not that one. Go into that one. Go into inscription, crafting reports. Just change the materials so it is not on vendor buy. It's a bug error. Okay. So let's have a look. No, not crafts, materials. Go onto this side. That always gets me, that one. Distilled water. Let's have a look on here. So it is now not on the vendor buy. Okay, so we just want to change this to vendor buy. Do we take it? It's set to market value on materials. That's interesting, because I'm looking at that and looking at how I would buy it. Yeah, that's definitely how I'd buy it off the vendor. So 13 copper was what I was expecting as a mat cost. We'll just do a quick update on that. It still says 13 copper. My mat cost is 13 copper there. Obviously the min buyout market value and everything like that. So as far as I can understand it, that would be correct. But as you said, these have changed now to show a profit. That's very interesting. So has that come from the... So how has that come about? Okay, more green prices is good, definitely. Okay, so just so I understand how that worked, you didn't have the water price because TSM forgot it because of the... of course, thank you, Rasheen. And then it defaulted to the right one. Okay, so really, to stop TSM from forgetting it during patch time, I should really set that to a manual value. Would make the most sense to stop that from happening at all the time. So I would come in here and I would change this, because I know the exact price at the moment, given my reputation, is I would go in here and actually set this manually to 13 copper, and that would keep it as a fixed price. And yes, okay. So that would be a fix in the future. Okay. Each ink required 1 water, and that's why it was bugged. It was misvaluing the cost of my inks. Thank you, everyone. This is great having you all in chat. I really do appreciate it. And we're understanding the process as well, understanding how TSM works. So hopefully other people can follow this along and work out how to get the correct prices for everything. This is valuable information. Thank you. So looking at this, we do have some things in green, which is brilliant. So looking at Tome of the Quiet Mind, we could possibly make a few of those. We could possibly even make a few contracts and try and sell those. The Proudmoore Admiralty one seems particularly worth doing, even at rank 1 there. We don't have any materials for these at the moment. Each ink required 1 water, that's why it was bugged. We did it. It takes a while sometimes for stuff to come in. Oh, Zerafina, I completely missed your Prime. Thank you very much for your Prime. That's very much 2 months of subscribing. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much. We were brainstorming at the time, so I missed it. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. The toy from the Proudmoore Paragon has a terrible drop rate. Okay. Since we're on the price topic of material cost, how does everyone figure the cost of Expulsion? It depends on how you get it, would be my first question. There we go. Thank you, Mushy. That is how I get my Expulsion, through doing the Bracer Shuffle as an enchanter and a leather worker and a tailor. So if you've got all three of those professions, that's how I price my Expulsion. You could take it as the cost of making one tide spray bracer and divide it by about 7 or 9, depending on what variants you want to use, and that will give you another. Sorry, no, don't divide it by, times it by that amount, because you get 1 every 9 braces. That's a simpler way. If I was you, I'd check all material prices from vendor. I mean, one of the things to do actually is, whilst I'm here, is just open up the TSM window, and it should start remembering the prices of materials now that I've opened up a vendor. That should help things. That should keep it going. Just told me that on other items as well. I think I'll check your vendor map prices and TSM to make sure it's set correctly. Good idea, Speckett. I was just about to ask that. What was that for? Oh yes, from the Expulsion. Okay, there we go. Thank you for being awesome. No problem, Zerafina. Thank you for stopping by and being great company. The braces divide by 9. Yeah, or I would do it braces times 9, because it takes 9 braces to make one Expulsion. But then that's not taking into account the materials you get back, which you could then reinvest into making more braces. I hope that makes sense. Good to head out. It's fun watching. Yes, Marshmallow, lovely to have you here, and congratulations on all your uncanny sales. I wish you much more gold coming up in the future. But good to have you here, certainly. Yeah, times 9 would mean you got 9 Expulsion per braces. No, but if you're putting the price in for Expulsion, it's based on the cost of crafting one bracer. Wouldn't that be right? It's 6 braces, not 9. Yeah, I mean, I would probably, I don't know the exact number, but I think 6 or 7 was what I originally used per braces, and that was about right for me. Yeah, I've gone with sort of 7 as my rough ballpark. It depends on how much you want to sort of take into account random number, but after you do the numbers, it does come out about 7. Blizzard said the gold is not gone; it's just stuck. Yes, correct. Thank you, Mushy. 10 of card open tracking, 70,000 cards opened. Total value 360,000 gold, and average is stable at 5 gold. Excellent. And you hit 100,000 cards open this month. Wow, that's absolutely loads, throws. Right, so where were we with contracts? We were making some of these. We got the price looking a bit better, which was good. We want to set up a group to sell perhaps some of these said contracts. So let me have a look at what I've got on me at the moment. Let's have a look at our group. And we want to make probably a crafting operation for each of these. So let's go group operations. Let's make a crafting operation, create a new one. And we're going to call this 5 of each as a good starting point. Maximum restock quantity will make 5. Minimum profit, we should probably have 1. Stupid matter. If you really want to be careful with the braces, you could do 7.5, then you get 6 through 9. Yeah, agree on the 6.25 after 100,000 braces. Yeah, exactly. You've certainly done plenty of braces for your time, Mushy. And so has Rasheen, for that matter, actually. Marsba, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. So, minimum profit. Let's do 10% crafting as our minimum profit. So we won't make them unless they are a profit. Although that said, maybe I'd like to make some of these and sell them at a slight loss, even though they won't necessarily be a loss. Maybe we could just make back some of our money and recoup it for the moment. So what I might do is I'll keep that there at 10% crafting, and I'm going to turn off set minimum profit for the moment. I'll just set myself to make 5 of each, and I'll just adjust this no profit, just so that we've got some stock of them, and that will help us at least skill up on these, and then we can work out the profit at another time. And then auctioning operations, we'll have a look at this contract here, and we'll go to the group operation here. Let's keep posting auctions. You stopped like 3 days now and you're getting worried. Yes, I think it's going to take quite a number of days before Blizzard get everything sorted, but they have rest assured us that things are being tracked, so we should be okay. So with our auctioning operation, again, thinking that we're not going to have potentially a profit on these, I still want to put them on. So I'm going to use, did we have the crafting standard? We did have a crafting standard. So I might use that actually. Let's get rid of this one. We'll use crafting standard. But what I might do is change the set minimum price when below minimum price. I'm going to say post at minimum price. So we at least post them on. We may or may not get sales, but at least we've crafted them. Zop Forever, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Is it 10% crafting or 110% crafting? When you're doing a crafting operation, it's one of the few things in TSM that is actually the opposite way, because it actually specifically says, if you go here into the crafting, set minimum profit, it actually says minimum profit here, so it's already taking into account the crafting cost, so it's on top of that, so which is why you put 10% crafting rather than 110%. I can imagine it'll be fixed soon, since the week starts again tomorrow. I imagine they were all called into work at the weekend. Yeah, they did what they can to fix it. Every Sharden realm had to be restarted so many times. Yeah, it was very unstable yesterday, wasn't it? So I'm going to leave that off for the moment, but that's what I would do in that case. So let me just check this group contracts, and we're going to add in the auctioning operation. We're going to override that with our crafting standard, but we're going to check our crafting standard operation to when it is below the minimum price, we're going to post at minimum price. Okay. Honey, I got your money. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So that's all listed. We've got, how much gold have we got? 9,500 gold, so not a lot of gold here. So, and Fairland, thank you also for the follow. Wow, time has really rocketed past, hasn't it, Mushy? Alright, let's have a look at these contracts and let's run a post scan on those. So these are below minimum price. These I'm undercutting the competition on, and these are below min price. So we'll post these on. Deposit costs don't seem to be too bad, so let's post these on. The main thing we're trying to do here is return some gold back into reinvesting into making more inscription in the future, so that hopefully we can skill up without losing too much gold. Because we're working on a limited funds here. We're not borrowing gold from any other characters. We're literally using the money that we've been able to accumulate through doing missions and various things like that. So you seem okay at the moment. What I might do, now that we've got that set up, we've also got the, we did the Tranquil Minds, Tome of Tranquil Minds. We had that as well, so let's set that one up. So we'll go into our groups here, and we'll go BFA inscriptions, and Tome of Tranquil Minds needs a new group, so we'll make one here. Tome of Tranquil, that'll be enough. And I'll go here, Tome of, oh, it's not Tranquil, it's Quiet Mind. Different one. Wrong thing. Change that. Tome of Quiet. Tranquil Mind's a different one. Why limit myself like that? The main thing I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep it more realistic for someone who doesn't have access to all the other gold making characters that I have access to. So maybe this is your first profession that you're getting started with. How would I approach this? What would I do differently, especially when it comes to this early stage of leveling up the profession? I wanted to go through the kind of like the thought process of it. How much lower are selling compared to my prices? That's a good point, actually, Dado. We'll find out. I can have a look at do a shopping scan of those. What else did I miss? Am I missing lots of gold in the mail too? There's a few different stackable items haven't come through yet. Uncanny gear has come through, but my alchemy has yet to come through. So I'm still posting, and it'll come through once Blizzard have sorted everything else out of that. It's not well. It's kind of broken, and Zoth has taken control of the auction house a little bit, and it's slightly corrupted. But we'll get there, certainly. You're only getting bags and uncanny. Yeah, it's mainly stackable items that seem to have the main have the main issues at the moment. Dips toes into each profession. You meanwhile did a cannonball into Wad's tailoring inscription, part of the pool. There we go. That's how you do it. It's floating in internet air. It's going incredibly slowly through the mail system. So, Tome of the Quiet Minds. Let's have another 5 of these on the making. And auctioning wise, let's stick with the crafting standard. And then we should hopefully be able to post those up as well. Tome of Quiet, or run a post scan on those. We've got 2 of those. Undercutting competition. So 94 gold there. And then if we were to have a look at these as a shopping operation, just to see what is on versus our competition, that would be quite an interesting way to have a look at these things. So let's have a look at groups and our contracts, and we're going to add on a shopping operation here, and we're going to do a crafting based shopping operation. So this is going to basically list my return the price based on my crafting cost as a percentage, so I can see how it compares against mine. Show auctions above max price. We'll ignore everything else. And so if we then go and do a shopping scan of contracts, run a shopping scan, we should have a look at these. So when they are at 97%, that's less than my crafting cost. That contract 7th Legion. So I am here at 298, which is, my crafting cost is 271. That actually doesn't look about right, 192%. I would say that value is different there. So I need to look into that. That crafting operation doesn't make sense to me. The percentages are in the right direction, but it doesn't seem to match what I would expect in my head as crafting costs. I would say 271% would be 100%, I would say. You have DB Market. Yeah, it would look like we have defaulted to that. Let me just double check that. That's how I'd expected it to work. Yeah, definitely. Maybe that one doesn't work in the way I expected it to. Let me have another look at the operation the groups, contracts, group operations, shopping, crafting. Oh yes, that didn't change, did it? There we go. Thank you. Crafting, does that actually work as a thing? Press enter on that. There we go. Thank you very much. So it's good to double check these things. So now we have a look. Now what would I expect here? So this is looking a bit more correct. So 7th Legion, there we go, 110% crafting, fantastic. There we go, that's what I'd expect to see. So these are obviously, as they're green, they're below my crafting cost. And so there are lots and lots, 25 here, 35 there, at 153 gold. So for me to get to 153 gold, I'm going to have to shave off a good 120 gold off of my crafting cost. Now that could be down to my material cost, or it's more likely going to be also down to my reputation as well. Oh, Illithorn, thank you very much for 3 months. Love the stream, still learning and sell better here, but not giving up. Well, it's great to have you here. Thank you very much for your support. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I see lots of emotes for you. Thank you very much, Illithorn. When you started playing WoW, people couldn't afford spending. Oh, what's going on here? I've got a weird... I'm burning. There we go. Let's move out the way. I don't want to burn. That wouldn't work. And Ragus, thank you very much for using your Prime. That's super kind of you. Thank you very much for your support. Really is appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. What else did I miss here? No heals for 12 minutes. Got to repost. Your first gold experience, you flipped 20 of the jellies for the beam outs, get to 50k profit. Wow, that's pretty cool. I missed a few other different things. Yeah, would have been the best explanation for Blitz could have given for all the bugs. Been corrupted by Inzoth. You've got to kill him in Mythic to get your gold back. Yeah, can you imagine that? That would be brilliant. I hope Method gets oh, I'm burning. Exactly, you've got to watch out for that. Don't stand in fire. Top tip there. Hope Method get world first, then EU will be doomed for posting on the auction house. Seeing streamers read chat upside down is always funny. Yeah, I'm kind of like all over the place trying to catch up on everything. I think I've caught most things. Did I have to do all my operations from scratch thanks to the 8.3 changes? No, this is a new character, and for all my new characters and new professions, I like to do a brand new profile for each of them. So we have, actually we should make a new one here that's not the default. We should call this, we should rename this one. Now, make sure I get the order of this right. This should be for Samadan, because this is Samadan's own profile. There we go. And this is to do with inscription at the moment, so I'm going to build this up at the moment. How much money have I got? Well, looking at TSM, we currently on the dashboard have on all characters, it says 590,000, which is a long way off of our 4 million we were at over in September. I bought a fair amount of tokens, buying Shadowlands and Warcraft 3 and a couple of subs as well. So I've spent a lot of my gold recently, but we're going to build it back up. Samadan already has most of that gold, as well as Earthen. I think that should be slightly higher than that, definitely. I haven't got the rat node. That looks awesome, the mount. Although, do I have to buy... Can I buy it with gold, the 6 month game time? Because if I can, that would be awesome. You can buy it with tokens. Oh, okay. You can. Oh, you can buy it with 2 tokens, just the rat on its own, without the without having to sub. Okay, that's pretty cool. It doesn't need to be a 6-month sub. Oh, okay. Ooh, that is tempting. I would be tempted to get that. That would look really good on this character on Samadan. The shorter characters, I think, would look really good having the rat. That's very tempting. I need some more gold first, though. Give me some parts of the string. Oh, did I miss something earlier? At least 12 gold. No, I missed that one. Or is it a rat, or do you feel it's a mouse? It's, I'd have to have a closer look at its tail and its ears, I guess. Use the mount special if you use it on a flying character. It looks epic. Inscription, how to way to value your BFA pigments. This one. Okay, thank you, Rasheen. I'm going to take that. I'm going to bookmark that. I'm going to read that. That's fantastic. Thank you. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this information that I'm learning. I'm going to pop it onto my Miro board, and then I'm going to do a video on getting started with inscription, so I can share it with everyone. Thank you all for your help. I am looking like I'm pretty much running out of time here, so I might just wrap things up at the moment. Floppy ears, long whiskers, pointy snout. Yeah, I think it's a billis string and it works the way it is. Yeah, billis' strings are always worthwhile doing, definitely. We need to fly. Let's fly back. Actually, no, let's Hearthstone back from where we are. Get back to the Snug Harbour Inn. That should work. Ragged Teeth, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. It really feels like a mouse now. I guess they wanted to make it cute. I mean, rats are cute too, so I guess it's a question of trying to balance it and make it appealing to everyone, I guess. One reason you hate large mounts, they seem slower. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's why I like playing this gnome. It seems like I'm running around so fast at the moment. Missed Oreo and Cookie today. They are okay. Oreo is upstairs sleeping. He's not normally. And Cookie's probably way upstairs at the moment. Cute rat in the cute body of a mouse. Don't hate. Exactly, Rasheen. Poor split personality. But I think I'm going to finish that up there, as my time has... my time is pretty much up. I want to say a big, massive thank you. Everyone who's hung out in the stream tonight. All your help, all your company has been absolutely amazing. It's a roosh then. My next stream will be next week. Until then, don't worry about the auction house. All will be fine. Blizzard will get there. They just got, it's taken them 15 years to redo the whole auction house and mail system. So there's bound to be a few bugs. They're working on it as hard as they can. So fully appreciate them for all the fixes they've done so far. And I'm sure we'll all get our gold. And then there'll be some really nice mailboxes to come. Let's see if we can find someone that we can throw a host on over to. Who is on and what are they up to? We have... Arnota's on and doing gold making. So let's keep it with gold making, I think. Let's just let the ad run and let that go through. It's going for the Vala of the Sands recipes, attempt number 2. So good luck to Arnota on that one. Let's set this one up. There we go. Gragons is doing ahead of the curve for the Horde. Interesting. I'll try and stick with gold making for the moment, but that's worth bearing in mind. Thank you very much. So we're going to throw a host over to Arnota. Thank you all. Let's throw some Bruto to kill his chickens. Thank you, everyone, for your company tonight. From myself, and sadly no Oreo tonight, but until next time, next week, when we'll cover hopefully the auction house will be in a much better state. Until next time, have a lovely week of gold making, and I'll see you next week. Good night and farewell.